Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Let's go, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio. We're live from the Real Talk Studios every Wednesday night. We're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web. GibsonMayer.com. That's GibsonMayer.com for all your accounting and tax needs. Tom Arnone, Michael Matarecki, Greg Mwagvik, Robbie Pove on the ones and twos. The family out there joining in from everywhere, because we're everywhere, bitches. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Later on in the show, we'll do our Eagles, Titans, score predictions, player of the game, offense and defense, and a chance for you to win some coin. That's what we're here to do. We're here to give coin. Nobody sends screenshots, so no coin's been given. You know what I mean? I ain't searching through 300-plus comments to give you free money. That's not how this operates here.
We told them the rules.
We did. Nobody follows rules. You got to start telling people to do the opposite, and then they'll do what you need them to do. You know what I mean? Sixers talk, 10-9-8, right around the block. Preseason game canceled last night. We're back to this shit again. We'll talk a little 10-9-8 later on in the show, and why I believe that this is the number one team in the Eastern Conference. And I know my sidekicks here absolutely agree.
You hear why that was flooded, right?
What, hockey shit?
No, because the road to get out of their complex in Camden was flooded.
Oh, my goodness.
So they couldn't get from Camden to the Palestra for the scrimmage.
Amateur hour. Eagles, Titans, key matchups of the game. We'll do that throughout the show. We'll obviously look back on last weekend's game against the Colts and Carson's performance there. But everything ties into our poll question, which is updated Eagles projections. What is your updated Philadelphia Eagles record at the quarter season mark? 13-3, 12-4, 11-5, 10-6, something else? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. First segment is brought to you by our doc. Find them on the web. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Dr. Paul Vidal calling in every Sunday for all the injury news around the NFL, and we'll talk some Sixers and NBA stuff when that happens, and hopefully there's no injuries there to talk about. But, boys, has anything changed? Or you're right where you were? And that's what we want to talk about tonight. We'll answer all your questions, comments, concerns. Does Alshon play this week? We'll dive into that as well for the family. Everything tonight is on the goddamn table. Giddy up. What up, Mike?
How you doing? No, I'm good. I'm good.
You good?
11-5, I'm good.
You good? All right. Let's go.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I'm still right in that same area, that 11-5. Yep.
Can I go up?
Sure.
Oh, I mean,
Like, not crazy
You're
up.
going to go up.
I love you know how I operate.
We knew we were going
You
up.
know how I operate.
I mean, we ask you in 2 more weeks, we're going to be 16-0.
Well, we could be
And
4-1.
somehow we're not. Somehow we're gonna forget that loss.
They don't call him the homie jabroni for nothing.
Listen, I'm only going up 1. I'm not going to go up crazy. I mean, I had them at 11-5, 12-4, but more of an 11-5 team. Being 2-1, the way you got the 2-1 to me has every makings of a team that's on their way to 12-4 as Carson progresses and gets better here. Because, honestly, the way they played as a whole, you really have no right being 2-1 besides dominating time possession, which is their MO and why they're the best in football at it and it equals success. You know, you are 2-1, and Carson's only going to get better. You get Alshon back, you're going to get stronger in positions that you need to get stronger at. And so it has a making of a team that's going to get hot at the right time. So that's what I'm foreshadowing is a team that I feel like week 5, week 6 is hitting on all cylinders.
What game is the game that now flips for you?
You know how I am with the schedule dive. I'm not a schedule diver. I'm just a number guy on my total. I don't dive into the schedule.
All right, so gun to your head though, if you only have them losing 2 more, which ones are they?
Well, 3 more.
Well, no, they already lost 1. You said 13-3, right?
No, 12-4.
No, you went 12-4.
Okay, so 3 more.
Which ones do I have them losing? I mean, I feel like the Thursday night game could be a tough one, but that's at home against the Giants. So
no, that's on the road.
That's on the road. That to me is a tough one off a short week. I think you have the Vikings Sunday, which is going to be a physical football game at home. I think it's a game they win, and I think that they end up dropping.
Come back.
Yeah, and they come back that Thursday
week.
and drop a divisional game. I could see that, or vice versa, where you're up against. You know,
or
you're looking ahead.
You beat Minnesota, or you lose to Minnesota because you're looking ahead to your divisional game, and you beat them. You still think they win over the pond?
Yeah, because if you want to get in a dogfight with us, I think that strength goes to us. You know what I mean? Because we're going to outscore you in a dogfight. That's just my belief there. You know what I mean? If you want to get in a defensive war with us, we're going to score more points than you if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well,
that's a belief of mine.
Rob V from the
because what do they do well? They run the football offensively well. What do we shut down? We shut the run down. So
Rob V chimed in and said he agrees with you.
What, the 12-4?
He said 13-3, 12-4, 13-3.
Yeah, I just because you're 2-1 with smoke and mirrors. You're 2-1 with your number one wideout. You're 2-1 without your franchise quarterback for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? All them things. So you know what I mean? And his strength and his ability, the knee getting stronger week to week to week, his work ethic, and getting the pieces back of Jahi, Darren, Alshon. I think this team's going to be in a great position when it's time to get hot. And we talk about the best football teams in football play well in November and December. That's how they operate. Yeah. Family chiming in on Facebook over here. Stephanie Hoover, have a great show. Thanks, Steph.
Thanks,
Rob,
Steph.
Taramina, sorry. Gabe has to go. If the team quit on him this season, nothing will change next season. This has gotten to the point of Chip Kelly bad. And I couldn't agree more with him. I really couldn't agree more. This is epic proportion choke job / collapse here with the Philadelphia Phillies. But we'll talk Phillies later on in the show.
By the way, just for the record, from me anyway, if I have them at 11-5, they need to lose 4 more, right? Giants on the road, across the pond against the Jags, at L.A. and at Washington in Week 17 because it'll be completely meaningless.
That's fair. Yeah. To me, we go to L.A. and beat them. I think we're a better football team than that at that point of the year. Now, they're loaded, and we'll see. I do think that we see each other in the NFC title game. And the one thing we don't want to do is go there.
That's what I predicted back when we first started, that the NFC Championship game was either going to run through L.A. or Philly. So
I didn't want to believe, Mike, that they were as good as they are. You know what I mean? Because
Kid's slinging it a little bit, though.
They're just loaded. I mean, they're absolutely loaded, but I was trying to look at positions where I thought they could get exposed at. They're not really around.
Well, hold on. Back up the train on that for a second now.
No Talib now.
Okay, I was going to say, keep Talib on IR, out for the season.
Yep.
And Marcus Peters out minimum of 4 weeks. And
huge blows.
You don't know if he's going to come back healthy or not.
And they're not deep there at corner. I mean, they had to lose guys to be able to go out and bring these two in. I'm not a big Peters guy.
Where they are deep like we are is on their their defensive line.
Oh, they're up there.
You know what I mean?
They're great up front.
Those guys, just like our guys, help our defensive backs by getting to the quarterback.
But listen, they had to give up to get this, right? So Ogletree goes to the Giants. Yep. That's a huge loss for the Rams to be able to go and pull off the Peters and be able to bring in Talib. You can't afford all of them, right? So that's a huge loss in the middle of their defense, essentially, right? In the linebacker core. Well, now I lose them too. I don't care how good of a front four you have. They're not as deep as us.
No,
they don't go 8.
But if you're not talking about the Birds as an opponent, if you got any LA Rams offensive players on your fantasy team, line them up, because what they can do is outscore teams.
Yeah.
And by a lot. You could be looking at the Rams playing like 48 to 35 games for several weeks now.
That's who they are.
You know what?
Yeah, that's who they are.
And I know I was quick to crush Howie here recently, but and I'm not saying we're obviously not happy with 11, but it goes to show when he trades up to number 2 and says we're happy with anyone that falls to us, and the way Goff has come out in his second year and has slung it still as he did it last year, it just goes to prove that Howie was 100% truthful in we're good with either.
He was happy with either pepperoni or sausage.
Yeah, obviously we'll take sticks and we'll take our baby goat because we love them, but I think this city would be going just as crazy over Goff at this point too. If the roles were reversed.
I agree with that. I do think Carson is the better quarterback, though.
I don't disagree.
And I don't necessarily think it's because he played more year one. I just think overall he's the better quarterback. But Goff, he can sling it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a question.
No, he can.
Look,
he's got
baby
weapons
hands
out there.
Baby hands are slinging it.
Now, how does baby hands throw in the cold weather? I don't know.
We'll see.
But baby hands can throw it in the warm. There's no question about that. Michael DeAndre, just kicking the tires. But did you guys hear that the Birds are a sleeper team for Bell? Let me be honest with you guys. And I'm just going to be completely honest. There's zero shot of this happening. There's zero shot. You cannot build a football team and construct a football team and have $20 million plus a year going to your quarterback, $20 plus million a year going to your defensive lineman, and $20 plus million a year going to your running back.
Well,
you're going to be so weak in other positions.
Well,
It's not realistic.
You wouldn't have to, though. And I think the whole premise on that is for this year because he becomes a free agent after this year.
Yeah, but nobody's going to trade without the deal because he's not going to play without the deal. You know what I mean? Just because somebody trades for him isn't going to change his perception on what he wants here and what he needs. He wants a long-term extension before he steps on a football field.
Right, but he has to play this year at some point or he doesn't become a free agent next year.
Right.
No, I get that. He's got to play by week 10.
Yeah.
But are you the problem is you're gonna give up, right, or whatever just for a rental?
Oh,
I
would, honest to God, if I'm the Birds and it's week 8, week 9, and Jay Ajayi is still, like, fighting this whatever injury it is that he supposedly has, because I think there's more to this than the Birds are telling us. Do I go out and I give up a 4th or 5th rounder to get him as a rental, the way they do in Major League Baseball, to take me through my NFC championship and my return to the Super Bowl? You're goddamn right I do.
Yeah, I like Le'Veon and everything. I wouldn't. It's tough in football. It's tough to go out
and you're right, it is.
And get a guy that time of the year and expect
it's an odd scenario, but it is one that could play out the longer he plays this game with the Steelers.
Yeah, I just feel like whatever team trades for him, since they're giving stuff up to get him, is going to extend him. So that's my point.
You're right. That's going to be the goal.
But that's my point with the Eagles. Like, you cannot afford that to go that direction on loading up for a 30-year-old running back, guys.
You still have, 2 years before you have to pay Carson?
You're probably going to pay him next year. You're probably going to.
But do you think Carson's going to be one of those guys that has to get max money?
It's not even
Or do you think he's going to be like a Brady type to where?
I think he's going to be a Brady type, but that's not the point because you can't go off of what you think. You know what I mean?
No.
I think he might take a discount. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is your big first payday. You take it. But my point was, I'm going to go invest this kind of money in a 30-year-old back.
No, you're not.
Where we see James Conner comes in at Pittsburgh and it might be better. Like, he might be better, or at least equal. We were talking about that Sunday.
But I don't think.
No, but right there, it's not a big drop off.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Right, but I don't think you're paying him long term though. I think if you're the Eagles, you know that he's not the answer. But if you need to use it, if you need to do the rental, like I said, the Eagles are one of the few teams operating from a position of power in the whole Le'Veon Bell thing, because the further it gets into the season without him playing, the less the Steelers are going to be able to ask for him.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it could be to a point where they could get a 4th rounder, maybe a 5th rounder, if it gets to week 6, week 7, week 8. So you could very easily bring him in. He reports and he plays 7 games for you. You ride him right through to another Lombardi, and you say, "See you later, time."
Rob,
I would do that. I would absolutely do that.
What I'm saying to Rob is he's going to be 30 years old by the time this contract is big money. Like, he's gonna want a 40-year deal here. This isn't gonna be, oh, I can sign Le'Veon Bell for 2 years. It's a 4 or 5 year deal with big-time goddamn money
If you
involved.
extend him, yes, he is absolutely.
So you're going to get a running back who's going to be 27 in February, going into next year, right? He's going to be a 27-year-old running back. You're talking about a 4 or 5 year deal. You have him at 30, 31 years old. When running backs hit walls, you're paying this guy $20+ million a year. Where are you coming up with that money in a salary cap league?
You better front load that contract.
You better. And I don't know.
You better give him that money before Carson has to get paid.
But that's the great thing about knowing when Carson is up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, remember last year, you had 21 to 22 starters locked up through 2020.
Yeah, Carson has to get paid after next year.
Right.
So you basically have the rest of this year and next year on his rookie deal.
But you have, Malcolm Jenkins is making a buttload of money. Corey Graham's making a buttload of money. Rodney McLeod's making a buttload of money.
Nick Foles is making a buttload of money.
Nick Foles is making a buttload of money.
Wait a minute. Excuse me, San Francisco?
Yeah.
You need a quarterback?
You need for a bag of footballs?
Well,
sure.
That's what I'm saying. Lenny says,
give us 2 twos?
Lenny Robinson chiming in on Facebook, 4 years, $60 million at least, and I completely agree with him.
Well, what did Gurley get?
You can look it up. Hold on. Joe McClellan says Bell for Gritty, straight up, done deal. Michael DeAndrew said lots of money. Rob says he thinks we need him to repeat. I don't think we need him to repeat. Like, this is what I think everybody's missing, and I wish it was Madden. I wish it was this easy, fam. But like, this guy's a crumb. He's a flat-out fucking crumb, and excuse my language, but that's what he is. Okay, you're making a ton of money this year to not play football. A ton of money for an organization that is one of the GOATs in all the National Football League, right? Okay, for Mike Tomlin, who's a player's guy, right? The reason he's still there, players respond to him. Every time they go through all this shit early in the year, it's the same Steelers, and they right the ship every year. It's what they do. It's the same thing every year. They start off slow. Oh, are they done? Same as the Patriots. Oh, they're all done.
I'm going to disagree with you.
I'm not crowning Mike Tomlin, but I think a guy that's making a ton of money and doesn't honor that deal is a flat-out crumb. It's not like you're playing for a bad organization or a team that's not going to win football games. So to me, it's all about the paycheck over it is winning. Why do we need that here?
Okay, but here's where you're wrong.
I'm wrong about what?
He didn't honor a deal. You know why he didn't honor a deal? Because he hasn't signed a deal. They franchised him. He didn't agree to anything.
Well, that's the NFL.
I get it, but this is where the NFL is fucked up. Excuse my language. This is a guy who made $14 million for his entire career going into this year, which is why people say running backs are a dime a dozen, because they're all ridiculously underpaid, and then when they get to a point where they've proven their value, they start to have the wheels fall off, and then you're throwing dead money at him.
Yeah, but he's also made a lot of money just on bonuses alone.
Agreed, and I won't argue that point with you. But his whole premise is, I've busted my ass for this organization, and I've only made in salary over my entire career $14 million. And you want to fucking franchise me? You won't even negotiate with me to give me more money? Hell no, I'm not signing that tender. As far as he's concerned, he's a man without a job because his name is not on a contract.
And that's fine.
Because the NFL is a fucking monopoly.
But the NFL can be whatever the NFL is, right? At the end of the day, you're getting paid accordingly to get franchise tagged. You're not getting paid at the 10% of the bottom feeders. You're getting paid the percent of running backs getting paid. So it's not like
average of top 5.
Yeah, so it's not like you're getting $5 million to come run the football this year. You're getting 15 or something around that number. You're getting big time money to come run the football. So to me, it's one thing if the guy, like we said, it's at the end of his career. It's like, dude, you know what I mean? That's the kind of respect you have for your teammates and the guys you've been with forever.
That is the crumb part where when it gets to the nitty-gritty and it's like your teammates relying on you to,
show up,
get in here, sign that thing, and show up. Yeah, that's absolutely crumb.
Well, doesn't it speak volumes what the locker room has done to him, too? Because in a game where it's all business and guys always get, hey, man, you got to get your money. Yeah, I understand, got to get your money. Guys have turned on him in that locker room. Like, big time turned on him.
Up until this year, I think he signed, 1 or 2 previous tenders, which is why this is the last one he's able to sign. He's always shown up. And again, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But
here's the thing.
I mean, yes, is there a bit of crumb to it? Yeah. But do I absolutely take a shot at him? You're goddamn right, I do.
But here's the thing. Like you said, he's already signed 2 tenders. So in his mind, it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You're not getting a third time. And he told them
for free
at the end of last season, I am not signing a franchise tender next year. I want to renegotiate. And they said, yeah. We'll take care of that when the time comes.
We'll call your bluff.
To your point, and it is a good point, but I will tell you this. If James Conner wasn't producing, they wouldn't be throwing him under the bus.
Well, they threw him under the bus before he even produced. I mean, this was in training camp before week 1. I mean, guys were literally – there were at least 4 or 5 guys in the locker room.
If Conner wasn't producing, their tune would be changing. Because it is –
the GM and upper management changed real quick.
But it is based on his production.
We're talking this Sunday, though, right? If it's not James Conner or with D'Angelo Williams, right? So whoever filled in, and I'm not taking anything away from Le'Veon here because he's a talent. It'd be stupid to say he's not.
But you're right. Every time he's suspended, D'Angelo Williams steps in and produces.
And rushes for like 110 yards a game. And you're like, well, so is it Le'Veon or is there a great system that they're running here in Pittsburgh?
No, I agree.
Or is the fact that Pouncey's just a pimp in the middle? And but he's still really good. I mean, you'd have to be blind to say it's all a system with him because you got to run the football, you got to catch a football. The guy can catch like a wide receiver. Let me read off and rattle off
real quick though.
Yeah,
was it Lenny or is it Rob who had the 4 for 60?
Lenny Robinson, yeah.
Because that was about right. Because Gurley's 4 for 57 with 21 guaranteed. So the average works out to be about 15. So 4 for 60 might be right in that range.
Well, this is what I want to ask the people out there. Name a team that's won a Super Bowl, I'll say over the last 5, that's had a top 3 to 5 running back on their team. Because I don't know. I don't think there has been. Like, think about it. It's the quarterback position that wins in this league. It's up front that wins in this league. Okay? You get the best running back ever to play the game of football. If you can't create a hole for it, it doesn't matter. Right? I always want to put my assets up with the beef because the beef's going to win me football games. Right? All these guys are talented running the football. I got to find a guy who can hit a hole. You know what I mean? And make a guy miss. And most running backs can do that. So that's where I want to put all my money at. Not that I don't – Le'Veon's that talent. Like, yeah, if you get him and you get whatever. I mean, I'm not going to turn it down, but I just don't see it happening. But that's what I'm curious. I want to know in the last 5 years a team that's won a Super Bowl with a top 3 to 5 running back on their team. Because it just doesn't – you don't need one. You don't need a top-tier back to win. You need a top-tier quarterback or a top-level defense to win in this league. That's how you win. So you know what I mean? It's one thing if that's a trend the league's going to.
Yeah, but it's not that it can't happen.
I'm not saying it can't.
Because we have that top flight quarterback. We have that top flight
understand that, but trends speak volumes to me. Right. And that trend speaks a little bit of volumes that, well, this is how you win.
Well, hold on. Let's do this for a second.
Could be wrong.
Then. So, Eagles, we're running back by committee.
Yep.
Patriots, running back by committee.
Yep.
Wide receiver by committee, too. Offense by committee.
Broncos in 2016. Defense and Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Brock Osweiler. Let's get it right.
Well,
Peyton in the Super Bowl.
Peyton in the Super Bowl.
Okay,
Osweiler went 7-1.
Papa John's want to be happy. They had a great defense.
All right. Before that, Patriots.
Running back by committee.
So you got to go back 5 years to Seattle to Marshawn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what was that MO though? That MO was a freaking the best defense in football. Yeah. Now was Marshawn a top 5 back at that time? I don't think so. A top 8? Yeah, no question. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was a top 5 guy, but an upper echelon back. But
regardless, whether he was, it was a lead back situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you see the rest.
To where it wasn't committee, yes.
But I mean, just look at the Patriots.
Yeah.
You get 3 guys who can run the football, right, for the price of 1, and maybe even cheaper. Our price tags for our backs is cheaper than 1 Le'Veon Bell.
There's no question.
You know what I mean? And the injury rate and all that stuff. I mean, I think we're overreacting to needing a running back, man. J.J. he's going to be fine during stretch time. He's a power back.
Hold on a
second. He'll be fine.
That wasn't the question, though. The question wasn't, do you need a running back? The question is, would you go get Le'Veon Bell? Do we need Le'Veon Bell? No, but if he's available, hell yeah, I'm going to go rent that.
Yeah, but then why go rent it when you don't need it? So who? I don't know. You're just messing up something that you're building here that I don't think, week 4 or 5 of the season, you're going to go make a blockbuster trade in the NFL when they never work in midseason, and you think you're going to reinvent the wheel here. And now guys that are a big part of this football team and a big part of a successful Super Bowl team take a back seat when all they do is produce, essentially? Think about it for a second. So you're cutting a job. Who are you cutting? Think about it.
See you, Wendell.
It's not, fuck Wendell. It ain't about Wendell. You're cutting Corey, or Corey now takes your 4th running. So you're telling me we need Le'Veon Bell, not you, but the public. Le'Veon Bell, Jay Ajayi, Darren Sproles, and Corey Clement. and we're going to give up a pick. We're going to get probably a second-round pick easily for it. For a rental, now I'm good.
Sproles hasn't been healthy yet this year. Ajayi's always banged up. I'd give Le'Veon Bell LeGarrette Blount's carries from last year.
Rob, what am I drinking? I'm drinking common fucking sense is what I'm drinking, okay? Common sense is what I always drink here. You can't sign them. You can't afford it all. I'm telling you, in 4 years, you'd be telling me, oh, remember when Tom said that he'll come back and burn your ass? Like, running backs don't win in this league, okay? Quarterbacks and up front win. That's what I'm drinking, baby.
You did say that about DeMarco Murray, and now look at him.
You get burned by these kind of dudes. You get burned when you spend big-time money on running backs, unless his name's AP. Really. Or Todd Gurley because he's a freaking pimp. Right? But he's a knee injury away from not being a pimp.
And Le'Veon Bell because he's a pimp.
Okay. But I just don't like guys who don't want to play football, Greg. I don't fall in love with guys who don't want to play football and think it's Madden. I'm going to look at the perception in the locker room.
If it's his first tender, I'm with you 100%. If it's his second tender, I'm with you 75%.
Oh my God, I got tendered $15 million 2-3 years in a row. Woo, I'm just broke. It's tough. I'm drinking Mellow Yellow, Ralph said. You're right. Stephanie says Mountain Dew. I seen a green Wild Cup, Rob said. And I do get mad at health, dude. I told you this last night. I speak with passion when I'm talking sports. This ain't a church. This ain't a library, okay? This is how it operates, all right? Your opinion, I respect the hell out of it. Doesn't mean I ain't going to yell back at it, right? Because I respect the hell out of mine, too.
It's not a church or a library.
No, this is grown folk talk.
That's classic.
We get hot with each other. Thicky Don.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold that on.
What happened?
So all you freaking jabrones out there that want to claim that this team has not quit on Gabe Kapler.
Yep.
They lost Monday night 10-1. They lost last night 10-3, and they're losing 7-0 tonight. But it's not the manager's fault.
Nicky P got lit up, Robbie.
Jesus Christ.
What a night not to fade the course, Pats.
It's not the manager's fault.
And then he says, preach, Tommy, preach, Tommy, preach, Tommy. I want to get into the Phillies for 2 seconds, okay? What else for you, Gabe apologists, do you need to see that this team has flat out quit? What else do you need to see? And this is a big-time collapse that I can't say it's okay because it's year one. You know what I mean? I don't know what else you need to see. We talked about, going to be the first team ever to be 15 games over 500 with 113 games in, right? That not finish above 500. Let me say that to you again. The first team ever that was 15 games over 500, 113 games into the season to not be over 500. They're going to be the first team ever. So you can excuse drive it all you want. This is a failure and a collapse, and it goes to one guy. One Mr. Positivity, one Mr. Everything's okay. That doesn't work all the time. The pat on the ass, the saying stupid shit pressers.
And I'm not saying you're not right.
Guys quit on him. Sad.
Where's the onus on the players, though, too? This is supposed to be a young group of players who haven't proven shit.
Greg, we're going to go back to the same thing we've talked about from day one. When there's zero consistency, when you talk about a lineup, when you talk about a bullpen.
But what has Roman Quinn proven? Why is he quitting? What has Reese Hoskins proven? Why is he quitting?
It's not.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, where's the onus on the players too? I'm not saying they didn't quit.
Onus everywhere.
I'm not saying that. But like, where is the onus on the
players?
players?
They quit on a computer. You think these guys can't see it? They've been around the game their whole life. That you think they can't tell when a guy's just overmatched?
9-0.
You don't think they can't see when a guy's overmatched?
I'm not saying they do, but their livelihood
This is on Matt Quintek. This is on Matt Quintek. This is on Gabe Kapler.
Their livelihood is also on the line,
too. This is on Andy McPhail, and this is on John Middleton. This is on 4 guys. This goes from the coach all the way up.
And it'll also on 26 guys, too.
Listen, you can spend all the money you want on analytics. Well, one, if you don't have the talent, the pool of analytics, they mean shit, okay? Because like Sweep said on Sunday, all the teams that are big analytic teams, besides Oakland, are fucking loaded. Loaded. So it's easy to run analytics. But you tell me Joe Madden doesn't play field games? You tell me other managers around the league don't play field games?
Joe Madden's also been around the game for his whole entire life.
So is this guy. He's been on the bench. He talked about
Joe Madden's been coaching longer than Gabe Kapler's been alive. And I'm not saying you're not wrong.
Right off the bat, you come in and you know.
But I'm saying, like, Reese Hoskins, again, what has he proven in this league? It's his second year. Like, why is he quitting?
Okay, but here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
So let's take
Scott Kinger got played a buttload of money for a guy in his unique situation, and he sucked this year.
All right, fine. Take the baseball out of it. You go to your everyday job, and you get a new boss who comes in there, and your new boss is phenomenal for 6 months. And then you realize that that boss really doesn't know what the hell he or she is doing, yet keeps spewing the same shit to you day after day after day, acting like they do know what they're doing. At some point, you start tuning them out. And when you tune them out, inevitably, the performance drops. And I think what you see now is Hoskins hitting 247, but a month ago he was hitting 265. He tuned it out. And I think the performance dropped. Now, is that excusable? No. But to me, it's human nature. When you got a guy that you just don't want to play for, it's natural, especially with young kids like that it's going to affect the performance. And Kingery, I mean, this is a kid that we saw perform at every level, from college to the low minors, and last year a double jump from AA to AAA. They won't admit that giving him that big contract was a mistake, that he should have started the year in AAA. And they won't admit it, and they showed it in their actions by keeping him here all year. As soon as he started struggling, they should have just sent him down. And I mean, the things that they've done with Hoskins, Kingery, Alfaro, Williams, like, I don't want to say that they've ruined these kids, but they basically took a season away from them by jerking them all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
I'm not. You're right, you're spot on.
And I know you don't disagree, but for the people out there that want to just keep harping that, oh, the players suck, they don't have enough talent, it's not Kapler's fault. They don't have enough talent. They were in first place on April 5th. You don't ride a wave that deep into the season without having – or that's what I meant, an A month.
Yeah, you said April. I was just there.
You knew what I meant.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in first place after 115 games. And to be where they are now, sub 500, third place, in danger of dropping all the way to fourth place, I mean, this is a collapse worse than 64. I mean, this is epic. Beyond epic.
I remember that collapse.
Yeah, from the womb.
It's not fair to give a free pass and then make the excuse, well, it's his first year. Okay. So it was okay for manager of the year talk in the first half when it's his first year, but then failure isn't. You can't criticize failure because it's his first year. You can't have it both ways.
No.
So you know what I mean? So for the people that were like, well, people were saying NL manager of the year the first half of the season. Okay, because he probably out of default was going to be, right? But now you reach that point, expectations have changed.
Yeah, well, everyone in this city thought Chip Kelly was going to be the coach of the year his first year here too. And that's what pisses me off more than anything. Because if you were in Philadelphia and you lived through the Chip Kelly era, this should have Chip Kelly written all over it. But people want to turn a blind eye to it for whatever reason. If you lived through Chip Kelly, you should be able to spot a fraud a mile away. And if you can't, that's on you. That's not on the fan base as a whole.
We're smart baseball.
He's a fraud. He is a fraud.
I'm going to take one side note.
Go
Chip
ahead.
Kelly can actually coach, though.
A little bit.
He might be a fraud in the NFL, but Chip Kelly can actually coach a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't know what this guy is.
Well, okay, fine.
I'm just saying he might. Yeah.
Then I'll
No. You're still right.
But
in the NFL, he's a fraud. There's no question.
But I'll throw the bone back and I'll say Kapler may be a great analytics guy. Move him to the front office. Don't put him in my dugout.
Like, he's a player development guy, right? So it's pat you on the ass, kiss you on the cheek, and tell you did a great job. Right? That doesn't translate into a head coach.
Oh, everybody in the Dodgers organization loved him, but he was never in uniform there. Why?
Because it's too nice.
Because he's
It's too nice. It's too out the. Listen, the problem with the whole situation is that this was Matt Klintak's hire, right? So
now, I guess Matty's got to go too.
Then he's got to go too. But I mean, John Middleton has talked about investing all the money he's put into analytics, right? So is he going to fire the guys that him and Andy McPhail have brought in here? I mean, after 1 year? I mean, it's an interesting question. I mean, do I do it? Oh, I make a statement of this whole organization. That's what I do. I fire both of them. That's it. Because we know for a fact that Harper doesn't want to play for him. And if you have Harper lined up in your sights, I don't care how much money you're giving him, because there's 10 teams that can give him just as much, if not more.
You may have to fire all three.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me.
It may have to be McPhail, Klintak, and Kapler.
I clear house.
And the whole coaching staff.
Yeah, but they
obviously,
just said they're all back.
Obviously, if you get rid of Kapler, then the whole coaching staff is going to win him because they're all
Actually,
his
you know
guys.
what? I'll keep Bob McClure.
I like Bob McClure.
Yeah, I'll take Bob.
Well, Robert Valdez.
Rob Levis. Yeah, it's Rob V.
He was talking about the third base coach should be their head coach.
Dusty, absolutely.
And I don't agree. I don't disagree with that at all.
Well, we said before the season that it should have been Dusty.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Because he came up with these kids, like, literally every level that they jumped, Dusty jumped with them.
We talked about it when the kids were all playing together up here. We were winning games. As soon as we went out in free agency and tinkered with, bringing in a couple guys here and there to try to strengthen this ball club, it's almost like they went south. They didn't realize that, you know what? We're winning by pitching. How can we strengthen our pitching staff? It's like your analytics, you look at fucking numbers all day, but you can't tell how you're successful the first half of the year, that you ain't going to out-hit anybody. So the bats you brought in really weren't these overwhelming bats, okay? We fell in love with Wilson Ramos because he's the only guy in the fucking lineup that hit a little bit. So we fell in love with him and we make him out to be Babe Ruth, okay? He's good. He's solid. He's an all-star type guy. But he's not the best catcher in baseball. You know what I mean? Like, he's really good, okay? But, you went out and did nothing for your staff. Nothing to make your staff better.
See, and I would even take it further back than that and say I don't necessarily have a problem with them trading for the bats in season. My problem is Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana is the guy, and it's nothing personal against him, but signing him was supposed to go out and show the rest of Major League Baseball that they're serious about giving money to guys. But he's the one acquisition that knocked the freaking world off their axis there, because now you have Hoskins, who has to stay in left field instead of going back to his natural position. You basically are forced to do nothing with Tommy Joseph. Roman Quinn's got to go back to the minors. Like, the whole thing just, basically just, we brought this guy in because we could get him for $20 million a year, but you didn't need him. Mm-hmm. And you totally screwed yourself in the process.
And on that note, you waited so long to start tinkering with where you put them.
Right.
Whether the lineup, whether the field, you know what I mean? Like, analytics, you're supposed to be able to spot trends, you know what I mean? And, the shifts, this guy hits it more, 100% this way, blah, blah, blah. Well, also analytics supposed to tell you what isn't working.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to work.
And, Rhys Hoskins hitting 100 million solo shots. Rhys Hoskins' batting average dropping from 260 to 240 because, hey, maybe he's logging a couple extra miles in the outfield over the course of a year.
How about this, Greg?
Why did it wait?
Rhys Hoskins, the worst defensive outfielder in the National League.
Listen, why did it wait to the end of the year to move Carlos Santana to third base, and then all of a sudden in the next year he'd be open to playing there on a regular basis?
Well, to Mike's point, which is kind of tying right into what you were saying, he's talking about Carson Santana knocking the whole road off his access, right? Well, the guy out there to go get, we all knew who it was, right? He was playing down in Miami. Now he's a Milwaukee Brewer, all right? It was easy on who you need to target and go get.
And he's also hit for 2 cycles.
NL MVP candidate, right?
And he's a Triple Crown, very close.
This is why Matt Klintek needs to be fucking fired. And Gabe Kapler needs to go with him, okay? Because you missed there, right? Which would have been a huge signing and a position of need for this baseball team, right? And you went out and tried to fill a position and spend money on a position you didn't need, okay? And then during the deadline, right, you go get bats, but you do nothing for the back end of your rotation that you knew wasn't good enough. You knew Vince Velasquez wasn't good enough. Now, you can make a case that you thought Eflin was going to keep that pace up, fine. But you knew Pivetta and you knew Velasquez weren't good enough. On a full 162, you knew they weren't going to be strong enough. You had to go do something. And Ralphie says Chris Archer. There was other names. Scared money don't make money. And what I saw at the deadline was scared money.
I know Ralphie.
That's just how it felt to me.
I know Ralphie.
Not that they were bad. Like Justin Bohr, Struble, whatever. But it was scared money. It was like, you know what? We can't give up the farm from Machado. You have it. You don't know when you have opportunities to win a division. They don't happen all the time. Whether Aaron Nolan needs Tommy John next year. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't know.
I will
you have an opportunity to go win, you go win.
They haven't been very good, but I will say especially the back, well, obviously the whole rotation has been very durable throughout the year. They've all approached 30 starts.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't been, at least those 3, or actually 4 outside of Nola, haven't been great down the stretch, but at least they're taking the ball, which is a step.
Well,
you know what I mean? Because
you're right.
You figured Eflin in the past. What's his issue?
DL trips.
DL trips. And Velasquez.
You get what's his face back next year, which should be a bump. But like,
but real quick to Ralph with Archer, you're not giving up Rhys Hoskins to go get Archer. That's essentially what Pittsburgh gave up in Austin Meadows.
Right.
Was a Reese Hopkins or an Adubel type of guy,
But
plus a better pitcher than we could offer.
agreed. And here's the thing, though. You could even rewind it back a point prior to what you were talking about, is that if you didn't want to go get Christian Yelich because you were afraid he was going to cost too much, fine. There's a guy who played right next to him in Miami that you could have got for dirt cheap named Marcell Ozuna.
Yep.
Now, granted.
I argue with Wilson Streets about that being the best outfield in baseball last year.
Has Ozuna had a great season this year? No, not by any means. But
Still a good one.
would he have looked damn good in red pinstripes in left field here with Hoskins at first base?
Versus St. Louis?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a good defender, in my opinion. He puts a little fear.
Well, he's a center fielder by nature,
He
too.
puts a little fear in people up at the plate. I mean, fearful guys.
Yeah.
You know, we knew we were going to be bothered by Santana and the batting average and all that stuff. But like Lenny said, it was an unnecessary signing. It just wasn't. You didn't need to. Or unnecessary splash, he said.
It just took too long for him to come around. You know what I mean? Like, now you look at it and you're like, all right, he's going to end about 230. He's going to end about 25 and 95. If that 230 is 255, 260, no one's saying anything. But it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, which is the issue.
Let's do something. Let's jump back to Eagles.
Yeah,
Our brother from another mother, Dion Brown, says,
Dion!
"What up, Dion?" He said,
What's
"Just
up,
let me know
Dion?
when you're all back to Eagles talk. Phils are done, and I'm just sick, and I'm just about as sick as anyone."
Yeah, we
Shake
all
my
are.
fucking head.
We
We're,
all
done,
are.
we're done with them.
The only reason I watched last night because it was on at the bar. As Tom said, why are you even watching?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm out right now.
I honestly don't know the last time I actually watched.
That was the first time I
Wait,
watched a
which-
legit game.
For
like,
me to say that with the baseball problem that I have, that's saying something.
I'm
Oh,
right
I-
with you, brother.
I-
I'd watch games for no reason last year at the end of the year just to see guys play and
Kids,
stuff. But
yeah.
you know, I'm not.
we've all
Welcome.
watched. We've all watched our shares of crappy
Good
baseball.
to have you.
Although I've gotten back into it recently with the Cy Young thing, but yeah.
But yeah, let's go. Yeah, back to the Birds.
Well, I just wanted to do some. You know, I want to give some score predictions out. Give the family a chance to chime in. Give us your score prediction. Offense, defense, player of the game. Chance to make couple beans, couple bucks.
A few ducats.
That's it. So, boys, what are you thinking this week? And obviously, you know, Gabbert is on concussion protocol. Marcus Mariota wasn't healthy enough to start last week, but I guess their franchise quarterback was healthy enough to come in the fourth quarter or third quarter, wherever he came in. So you have a banged-up Mariota at quarterback. You're going to have no Gabbert. What are you guys thinking?
Well,
How you feel?
what did they put up last week?
9?
9?
Yeah.
Ugh. Greg, you want to go first?
I'll go first, and I'm going to be there, so
That's an L.
pretty much. and again, I'm doing this for the fam.
But you know he's going to predict the
Oh, you're
L, which
going-
means
I'm doing this for the fam.
Yeah, you're going there because of the family. That makes sense.
No, I'm going right now because of the fam.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to the game because of me.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm just confirming that.
And it's Nashville. It's Party City. 15-12 Titans.
really 5 field goals to 4.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
If
I'm
we
gonna,
score 12 points,
I'm gonna
jumping on
completely
something.
debunk that because Ryan Suckup is listed as questionable. They may have to go out and find a kicker on Saturday.
All right, then we're going shootout now.
Shoot out. You're legitimately going 15-12?
Well, yeah, because I don't think they're going to win. So if I have to pick them to win, I'm going to pick them to win an ugly game.
All right, that's fair. 21-10 Birds.
But I have to for the fam. You know what I mean? Like
I
I have to.
know what you're saying. I got you.
34-10 Eagles. I don't know where Tennessee's going to get their offense from. You know, Mariota, like Ralph was saying, might not even play. I just don't see where they're getting their offense from. You know, they can shut Jacksonville down all they want. I ain't crowning that defense for shutting that offense down.
Well, hold on a second, though, because now I have them with 10, you have them with 10, you got them with 12. So we're all in agreement that Tennessee's not going to score more than 10, 12 points.
They better not, because this defense better
how
travel.
how do you have the Birds only scoring 15? Just because you need to keep the score relatively close? Or, I'm sorry, you had it the other way.
Yeah.
All right, so you have Tennessee scoring 15.
Yeah.
Still. Man, you know what? I think you need to just toss this for the family thing.
You don't.
We're Super Bowl champions, man. You don't need to do that anymore.
You know, the only time he picked them, they went and lost.
and went and got smoked.
No, I just want to keep it going here for a couple more weeks. Let's
All
see
right,
how it plays out.
I'll believe in the superstition, even though his logic or the logic behind his score baffles me.
Oh, of course.
Because I want to know how the hell they're going to score 15 when you and I have them at 10.
All right, you want me to go 12-9? 12-7?
I want to know how the hell you can justify the Birds only scoring 7-9.
I'm just saying, it's
12?
an ugly game. That's
Yeah,
all.
it's like the only way that Tennessee could win.
You're an ugly game.
Yeah, I am. I'm
picks.
completely ugly.
Problem.
You don't want to go down there for a loss, so pick against them. Keep doing what you're doing. That's what you want to make that travel, all that travel plans and all that shit for an L. No, thank you.
Oh, hold on.
Well, at least I'm not watching Nick Foles versus Blaine Gabbert.
True story.
At least I'm watching 11.
Yeah, listen, I think 11 leaves off on where he was in the first quarter on Sunday. I think he builds off of that. I think they score a lot of points. I do think Alshon plays. So, I have a good feeling. I think Ajayi plays. I think they go down there and they take care of business. I need to see this defense go on the road and shut somebody down that they're supposed to shut down.
And
it's really important.
And
to
I
me to
said
see
it
that
before you got here. They could be coming home with another wide receiver.
No, they're not going to sign Rashard Matthews.
Rashard Matthews has asked for his release.
We play fantasy fucking football out here.
Tell-
I swear to God. You're in any Eagles group or any group period or on social at all throughout the day. It is fantasy football talk. It is. Le'Veon's out. Like, Jason LaCafour hasn't said nothing right in his entire fucking life, okay? Can we be clear on Jason LaCafour, on the shit he just throws out? He was on a podcast, and he said, as he's going through 1 million teams, he named 1 million teams, got to listen to it, and go, well, the Eagles could be a sleeper. Well, you just threw 20 teams at the wall. So you're going to get one of them, right? You know what I mean? And then somebody picks that up, right? That, the Eagles are a sleeper. LaCafour is a big name in the NFL world.
Got a check mark.
Even though he throws shit against the wall, and everybody's like, oh, we're in it. Howie, we knew Howie was going to do it. We knew Howie.
Greg, you gotta tell the fam about your flight though.
Oh yeah, so my flight down there, we're leaving.
It's the connection, right?
Yeah, it's a connection. So we're Philly to Atlanta,
right?
And then I have a 6-minute flight from Atlanta to Nashville. So I leave at 9:46 in Atlanta, and I land at 9:52 in Nashville. So I travel for 6 minutes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, really an hour.
It's really an hour and 6 minutes.
But I love that.
But there's people out there who are like, really? That thing's going up in the air for 6?
like, it's a
Make one
6-minute
circle
flight?
and come down. Yeah, no, it's an hour and 6 minutes because you lose the hour crossing the Central Time. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
It reminds me of my
picks in.
Reminds
Let's
me
go.
Of, reminds me of my flight last year from LaGuardia to Philly. Total flight time was 22 minutes, and it didn't even reach like cruising altitude. Literally took off, and they're like, and we're beginning our descent into Philadelphia.
To go up. You didn't get a chance to finish your soda.
They didn't even come. They didn't even serve. They were literally like, yeah, less than a half-hour flight. Well, there's no flight. There's no in-flight service.
Yeah.
Yo, you animals out there, I'm Venmoing you money for nailing the score and an offensive defensive player of the game. Let's go. Send them in. Comment them in. No, you're not. I'm all over it. Inside job.
Brian Colangelo over there.
Mike Parker says 30-14. He also said Jenkins 2 picks and Alshon 2 TDs. Man, I would love that kind of comeback, Daddy. Ralphie D says I have 24-14 if Mariota plays. If he doesn't play, I got 24-7 Eagles. Deion Brown said I'm bad at making predictions, but I'll say 21-17 Birds. Boom. Anybody, I know people on the YouTube are probably firing away as well. Mike, you doing YouTube?
Oh, you had it up in front of you. So I just assumed you were doing it, but I can get there. It's not a problem.
No, we're good. I don't even know if anybody's even – I seen a couple earlier. Pootie Tank says 25-0.
Nice. I like your
Two-Gun
style.
Tommy, 24-13. Me of Everything, 24-17 Eagles. Sorry, Pootie Tank was 25-20. Todd Womack, 20-10 Eagles.
Player of the game Wentz.
TTP says Jalen Mills, defensive player of the game with a pick 6. Oh, and I'll get Robbie all upset, Robbie T. Alexander Verrucci. Never mind. He's talking about something else. They're talking about.
I love how
TTP says 32-13 Birds. Carson, offensive player of the game.
I love how there's a certain member of this station who's in the YouTube making comments and posting videos to our group while we're on the air. Learn some fucking station etiquette. You don't post videos to the group while a show is on the air.
Who's this?
3 guesses.
Yeah, I ain't guess mode.
Certain freak.
Ben Barr says, Tom, what about him? If he gets injured on the franchise tag, then he's screwed. Well, dude, I mean, you know what I mean? He's screwed. Oh, he's screwed with $15 million. Life's over. Come on, dude. I mean, we got to stop feeling fucking sorry for dudes that are making a killing.
Ben Barson also said 27-14 birds.
You know what I mean? Like, why do we make excuses for dudes who make a ton of money? Like, they're making peanuts. Like, can we stop? The guy's making $15 million a year. He tears his knee up. It's 2018. Shit's going to get repaired pretty good. He's going to be okay. This ain't Boogie Miles or Booby Miles, right? This ain't Booby, right? Is it Booby Miles? Yeah, this ain't Booby Miles, okay? You don't tear your ACL in the 80s and never come back again, okay? There's no Booby here. No Booby here.
Yeah, but
he's going to come back.
But he also ain't getting his $20 million.
He absolutely would. Are you kidding me? He's
coming back off an ACL. He ain't
absolutely. He's getting 15.
Stop.
He's getting 15. You're clueless. He's getting 15.
We know that.
He's getting 15.
All right, so Ben Barson's got 27.
I guess it was Kyle because Kyle said sorry, Mike.
Yeah, Alexander Verrucci's 31-10 birds. I'm getting to you guys, fam. Bunch of people want to know how Greg arrived at his score.
I just said ugly game.
Yeah. Oh, he says you think
ugly game in 85 degrees sunny weather.
He says you think Carson Ajayi, Jeffrey Nelson with our O-line Sproles back and they only scored 12 points.
Yes.
That's TTP balling. They're all calling you out.
Well, they know why, right?
Because it's
our fam on the YouTube.
Because it's for the good of the fam.
Jake Friel says, somebody say boobies?
Boobies?
Booby Miles.
Did you just get banned from his group? You said boobies.
I know, Jake. Am I good in there? Am I good in there? You know, it was like women who do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God, it's a picture of a butt.
Her ass looks better than
I'm
mine.
like, she's fully dressed. And one person's like, there's kids in here. I said, can we be real? There's no kids on Facebook. Every kid's on Instagram, and they see way worse. So what are you talking about?
I was just about to say, have you been on Instagram
like
in the
ever?
past ever?
Like 1 minute, just create an account.
Actually, this is great.
Or the Twitter cum shot girls. Like, come all over my face. Like them ones in their bios. You know what I'm talking about. They like your post. And you're like, oh, who liked it? And you click on it, you're like, oh, who's this? And you're like, oh, yeah.
You've been followed.
Pound my pee. You know what I mean? Like, what? What happened?
You've been followed by Rebecca.
Yeah.
And you click on the profile, 18 plus for nudes. Visit my site.
Okay.
Team follow back.
What's that site?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Me of Everything says, in my opinion, our season began last week. Sorry, Nikki Six. Two Gun Tommy says, in from Virginia, what's a game at the Link like?
Wow.
Depends on the opponent, to be honest with you.
Regardless, though, it's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's an awesome experience.
You know when it's really good?
You go in for a night game or a division game, and that place is off the hook.
I think
like
mid-November.
Like, listen, at the divisional game, right? Like the videos on YouTube, right, where we're all bundled up and shit against the Falcons. So we're all bundled up. Like, I like you hate being out in the cold because it's fucking freezing.
By the way, Ben Barson just said I'm crying right now.
If anybody takes me serious, don't take me serious. Yeah, I think too many people take me serious when I yell and scream at you.
Yeah, like he really does love Gabe Kapler.
No, that's not true at all.
I think he's crying over Rebecca in the 18.
Oh yeah, Rebecca too. Rebecca, great ass. But I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. What was I saying?
The Link bundled up.
Oh yeah, like that's the environment.
Outside.
Yeah, it sucks, but that's the environment. Like being like Mike, like you're at that game. You're a season ticket holder, but like the games I go to where it's got that crisp air.
Yeah, like mid-November.
Yeah, and you're like, let's go. It's going to be physical. It's cold. It's hitting weather. Let's go.
I will tell you that my
different type of hitting weather than baseball.
My favorite time of the year to be there is like late October, where I'll roll out there to the tailgate at like 7 a.m. and it's like jeans and a hoodie. But as the morning goes on, the sun starts to come up, starts to warm up a little bit. Maybe, you duck back in the car, you take the jeans off, you throw the shorts on, or you keep the jeans on, but the hoodie comes off and you got like the long sleeve T-shirt or like a short sleeve tee, and it's cool and crisp. And it's just like, it's like hitting weather, And I'm not talking like baseball hitting weather. I'm talking
Literally.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
football hitting
We
weather.
didn't think alike. I just said the same thing.
Literally
Not-
said the
not-
same
Not real
exact
hit
thing.
weather.
And not
Different
really,
type.
not yet. Again, not baseball hitting weather. But
Like 4 pairs of socks, 45 undergarments.
I mean, I'll tell you what. And
nipples ice cold.
here's the thing, though.
Yours or hers?
Both Rebecca's.
Rebecca's.
But
Finish him.
Diamond cutters.
I will say this. I have been to some games there in like December that have just been straight up miserable. I've also been to some games there in January that were like, what month is this?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
You guys know I was just there on Monday for the Flyers game, and I noticed something that I hadn't noticed before. Maybe it was there the whole time on top of the link. There was these windmills. What are their purpose?
Oh, it saved money.
The
Save
Power
the
lights
environment,
for
Daddy.
and the whole side is all solar panels.
Yeah,
Like-
that's like their green initiative. They have windmills on both ends. That whole
smart.
the whole parking lot out front, the canopies, all the canopies have solar panels on the roofs.
But the Phillies spent all their money on analytics instead. just so you know why the two stadiums are different. Every penny the Phillies have made, they've dunked it right back in analytics.
And lights that can flicker off and on when they win a game. Drives my freaking vertigo nuts.
That's fucking cute. Yeah, I mean, like the cuteness of this organization is wearing me out. I need some dogs in here. I need some guys with some. I hate switching up like topics. Phillies, Eagles. We're fan. It's four here. You know what I mean? So we're going to jump a little bit, especially
but
when
here's
it's
the
this.
thing.
Like I'm tired of it.
They pissed the fan base off so much that even McFadden's told them to go to hell.
Yeah,
They're
McFadden's
like,
like,
we're
we're
done.
out.
We're closing. We're out.
No way.
Yeah, they're done. They're closed down
They're
last game.
closing
of the year.
after the Vikings game.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
They're staying open through the Vikings game, and then after that, see ya.
I guess probably PJ's probably jumping in.
I was gonna say I will lay even money that it's either another Chickies or PJ's.
Yeah.
There we go. They probably did analytics on crab fries and realized they sell a lot. You know what I mean?
We sell so many crab fries in the stadium. What if we could sell them outside too?
Barrel accuracy. You know what I mean? We're talking barrel accuracy with the crab fries.
You know
Work up that thirst.
the crab fries and lobster cheesesteak profile nicely with our
Although I hope they do some analytics on giving more cheese with the
We're here
crab
to help.
fries.
We're here to break it all down. You want to talk about diving deep?
Because you need more than one cup of cheese.
We go behind the scenes here at A2D. We dive deep into the problems. No, but listen, it's ugly. I feel like we just keep saying I feel like it's the same things over and over and over again.
because the cheese profiles so well with the crab fries. we have
the dunk-
38 years worth of
The
analytics.
dunk
that say-
accuracy.
dunk accuracy. The reason that we put the cheese cup in the little thing on the side of the fries is for dunk accuracy.
Robert says Chickies and
Jesus
Pizza is buying it.
Is
so, yeah. Rob, go to hell. I mean, Ralph, go to hell. We're not talking Lakers. Okay, you know this.
They
all right?
suck.
All right, Ralphie. No shot. Rob Hill
6 seed.
says 11-5, still the same. So he has the Eagles and the same point, or same record. But
Yeah.
you know, I know when the Phillies conversation happens, it sounds similar, right? It sounds like week to week we're having the same conversation. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why for a second?
Sure.
When it goes on for this long and we come on the airways every Wednesday and Sunday, me and Greg, right, and we're having the same talk and the same 5-6 guys are telling you the same goddamn thing, okay? When that many people that are baseball guys see this, it's a huge problem, and you can't run from it, okay? Greg, look at Greg's shift here, okay? Greg was on the Kapler side for weeks. I'm not saying he still doesn't believe in him to a point, but you see him shifting because he's too much of a baseball guy to not see the shit now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he tried to give it time and say, you know what? He's a first-year manager, right? And because he's such a baseball junkie, he couldn't do it anymore. And he's starting to shift where, you know what? It is a collapse.
It is.
There is things going wrong. There is too much. You listen, it's okay to go to a presser and launch shit, okay? When you lost that many series in a row. It's okay at the end of August to say, we're playing like shit, right? These guys aren't stepping up. We're not getting big hits in big spots. We're not pitching well enough. Nobody's doing anything good enough. I'm not managing good enough. And throw something. Throw something. Come in the locker room after a loss and toss something. Slam something on the ground, right? These guys at this level thrive off of that kind of shit. Do you think they thrive off of 2018 participation award shit? Good job, buddy. You'll go get him next
Yeah.
time. These guys don't thrive off of that shit.
Meanwhile, the Brewers and Cubs both clinch preseason berths, although the NL Central title is still to be determined.
Between the two of them?
Yeah.
This was our year, guys, to get into the
Cubs
dance.
are up by a game.
Putting the pressure on the Rockies and Dodgers.
You can't go out. And listen, there's one other guy I got to put blame on, right?
Solidifies Yelich for me for the MVP.
Yeah, one other guy to put blame on, and that's Jake Arrieta. Because you talk about the struggles of your 3, 4, and 5 the second half of the year. I'm tired of people saying there's no talent on this team, right? I'm tired of that narrative because there's plenty of talent, right? When you got $40 million tied up to 2 vets, there's talent, okay? So stop with the no talent shit. You had one guy in the NL Cy Young award race, right? There's talent here. Jake Arrieta needed to finish. This is what we signed him for. We signed him for the second half, a guy who's won before. Same thing with Carlos Santana. We signed these guys for second half baseball, right? When they struggle, when both are second half guys, career-wise, they're second half guys. It's their whole careers like this. There are both of them. When they struggle that bad in the second half, who's that on? Because analytic, that shit. I'm going to tell you who it's on. It's on Kepler. Like when guys who never struggle in the second half have pitched like shit, don't hit, right? Who's it on? When they've been doing it for 8 years the same way. Well, I know it was on because Gabe Kapler ain't Terry fucking Francona. Okay, Gabe Kapler ain't Joe Madden. You understand? You can want to play analytics, but both of them two, when you talk about Francona and Madden, are analytic guys, but they're field guys as well. And that's why they're successful.
That's
why.
Can you indulge me here for a second?
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Because I want to point to something.
So pissed.
So
I want a postseason baseball.
The date that we keep talking about is August 5th, because they had just completed a 4-game sweep of the Marlins at home. They were 68 and 45. Or, I'm sorry, 68 and 43. They were
this was
15 over 500.
2 weeks after the All-Star, right?
Like 2.5. Yeah.
So they went out west.
Okay, now stop right there, because you're
Hammer time.
You could do that if you get up and dance. But this is where I want to go with this.
Yeah. Dance break.
Because the
Truth TV.
Truth TV. The first game of the road trip, they go to Arizona. Their starting pitcher.
Hold on, where was that again?
Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
I created this mess.
Their starting pitcher.
Your fault.
My fault.
Their starting pitcher that night
Because you didn't get there.
Yep.
goes 8 innings, no runs on just 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, only throws 110 pitches, but is pinch hit for in the top of the 9th. And the Phillies lose that game 3-2 in extra innings. Who was the starting pitcher that night?
Was that one Mr. Aaron Nola?
No, that was one Mr. Jake Arrieta.
Okay, I knew it was one of the two.
You don't think he was pissed off about getting pulled out of that game and Mr. I'm supposed to be professional? Tell me that wasn't the beginning of him quitting on this manager.
Listen, Mike, I'm right there with you. Nick Williams quit on this manager.
Game 5.
Yeah, right. Where the computer,
when the computer wouldn't put his name in the lineup.
So I mean, if you think this is a computer though, like you think these guys aren't real, like human beings that they don't talk? Right? Do you think this is a video game where you plug and play? Like, be real with me for a second, because it's not. These are guys that are human. They think. They have common sense. They've been around the game their whole life too, and they see like this guy's reinventing the fucking wheel here. Like, I come to the ballpark, I have no idea if I'm playing.
I come to the ballpark and Aaron Altera is playing over me.
Right? Like, think about it. Right?
Why?
I talked to my buddy who pitches for the Phillies, right? And I didn't bring up Kapler or none of that because that's – listen, they're not going to say nothing bad about him. He said he's a great guy. He's met him, right? And, of course, he is. He probably is a great guy. We're not talking about the guy. We're talking about the manager, okay?
Performance.
All right? But I said, right, you're a closer, right? If you were getting shuffled all around, how would you handle it? It's tough. He said, when I went to AAA and I didn't have a role right away, it was hard because I didn't have a role right away. I'm used to a role, right?
A routine.
Sir Anthony, okay, who he pitched with, he was a great kid. You took his role away, and then you started this yo-yoing shit. Well, it's either you can pat on the ass in the presser, right? Then if you pat on the ass in the presser, you got to stick with. You can't pat on the ass in the presser, right? Because you don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but then throw him under the bus because now he's not your closer anymore. Yeah. You can't have it both ways.
Well, there you go.
Not saying he deserved to close anymore, but once he got a roll again, you got him in the 7th inning. I thought he started pitching better.
Rich Mattis chimes in. They're losing 9-0. They should fire him right now, right in the middle of the game. Just go into the dugout, take his little notepad, tell him to get the hell out. Enough is enough. This is embarrassing.
Well, I would have pulled a double out yesterday right after that line drop, right after that ball.
I have no time for that either. You understand?
Because you lollygagged, you know what I mean? Like you lollygagged a double play ball in the first inning, and then the next inning you drop a fly ball. I'd have been like, okay, let's go.
Can I be real, though? Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Horrendous. This is the whole baseball team. Not dropping balls, but the whole baseball team quit. And that's just one example, right, where you don't get to a spot on a ball you need to get to a spot to, and you lollygag it. That's quit talk, right? Pivetta or Velasquez last night flat out quit. You watch the body language. Go rewatch it, right? Flat out quit on his manager last night.
Well, that was also right after the drop too.
I'm just making a point,
No, you're
though.
absolutely no, you're not. Yeah,
They quit on each other. They quit on the manager. They quit on everything. And this is a bunch of kids who all won together. The second
and they don't like each other.
The second you brought in the extra, you ruined the chemistry of this baseball team. Okay? Like it or not. And I'm not saying the moves weren't needed. It was Machado or nothing. That's it. You don't Band-Aid shit. You say, you know what? We're in first place anyway. We're going to ride with the kids and see how we do. That's the way you go about it then. I'm not playing Monday morning quarterback. I'm being real with you. This was Machado or nothing. It wasn't, we don't get Machado, so we'll go get a Struble Cabrera, who's not an everyday shortstop, so knock it the hell off, okay? All right? Justin Bohr, for what? For what? Why? He ain't going to play. You have 3 first basemen now. Are you okay? Jose Bautista, to bring him in and then you start starting him? Are you okay?
That's crazy.
Are you okay? He's been every team in the NL East this year, but you're going to start him. What is going on here?
Well,
what is going on?
Jim Martell agrees with you. Said this team cashed in. The GM and Coconut Oil Boys should be fired. These vets they brought in at the deadline are head scratchers. Why did you need a catcher when you have Alfaro? It's like the Titanic.
We know why you needed a catcher.
It ruined the whole. But hold on. Your pitchers pitched so well to him the first half of the year. You go get another catcher. It changes. It changes, Greg. They're missing analytics, right? He's top 3 in frame percentage in baseball. You know how good that is? That's Yachty talk in terms of how good he is behind the plate in frame. I'm talking about pass balls that drive people crazy. I get all that. He's a baby still.
Well, that's why
understand?
That's why I thought a veteran catcher would help.
Hey, listen, and it did help. Okay, it did help. That's not Wilson Ramos isn't my problem.
Right.
Asdrubal Cabrera and Justin Bohr are Band-Aids. Right? You want to make a splash. You want to act like you're a big boy like we talked about when Machado was out there. You go get him, and you do whatever it takes to get him. Okay? Because you don't go then and say, oh, well, we didn't get him, so we'll do these moves. No, then you stay status quo then. Then you say, you know what, we've won with these kids. They won at every level. That's what analytics are going to tell me if I go look at fucking numbers. Okay? Let them ride it.
Or you do one deal. You do 1 deal or 2 deal. You get one guy in or 2 because you are in first place, so you want to bolster your lineup, bolster your bench, right? They brought in too many pieces, and me coming from a fantasy sports perspective, too many choices sometimes fucks you.
Yep.
It makes you think too much about your lineup, who you're throwing out there in a day in and day out.
Too many guys.
Yeah, you got too many guys.
choices.
It fucks up the
You're
mechanism.
Right. When it happened, the Ramos deal I loved. The Cabrera deal I liked for what I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? Guy play one day here, one day there. You know, guy off the bench too. And then Bohr, same thing. I didn't think Bohr would play much. I thought he'd be the Matt Stairs power off the bench.
Which is what he was supposed to be.
But then Bautista? What? And then, like you said, now he's starting. You know,
well, I appreciate it from my perspective.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear this real quick from Jake?
Give me 1 second.
Breaking.
We will do that. But, Dion, if you're still chimed in on Facebook, jump over to the YouTube. I love the YouTube chat because the fam knows that we're 3 baseball junkies. So they just keep the Eagles conversation going while we get it all out of our system.
Dan, I'm sorry, brother.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. We're eagled up. You know what I mean? But this is just such a passionate fucking problem right now. But Jake Friel, via Bleacher Report, breaking, and we knew this was coming. Philly GM confirmed Gabe Kapler will be back in 2019. Well, I want to rebuttal, right?
Well, that was
I'll rebuttal. Is Matt Quintak back in 2019?
It's not even. I love Jake, but that's not breaking. That's
we knew it.
Clintak
but it's probably confirmed from Clintak.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
They had to say it again tonight.
Gabe confirmed yesterday
that his staff was back.
That he and his staff were back.
Well, I guess Clintak just following up because I'm sure he was asked today about it again. But whatever. In the last 24 hours, it's been confirmed.
Gabe said yesterday that he and the entire staff were coming back.
I wonder if any of the beat writers are going to have some really hard questions for these guys, or if they're gonna play patty cake too, so they don't lose their credentials.
10-0. I wonder Because all these freaking beat writers do their little appearances on NBC Sports Philly, who is paying the Phillies out the wazoo for the broadcast rights. Like, are they just done asking the hard questions because they don't want to lose their TV time? Because I'm telling you, I'll tell you straight out,
that because
after this season, if Ricky Bottalico and Larry Anderson don't get fired, it's a small miracle because they're the only two guys in Philadelphia to keep it real.
What did I say about Joe Giglio, right? Everybody's like, well, Joe
He's
Giglio.
a shill.
Yeah, Joe Giglio thinks he should be back. Dude, he does a pregame and a postgame. Of course he's going to say he wants him back. You think these guys want to lose their access and shit? No, because they're pussies. They're scared to lose access. Excuse my language again, but that's what they are. Like we talk about all the time. We have no agenda here, dude. It's going to be the way it is or the way it isn't.
It's because we got no access.
Yeah, and even if I did, even if I did, it's not going to change the tough questions that nobody will ask. There's one guy in this city that will go in there and actually ask tough questions, and we know who he is. And you can like him or dislike him, but there's one guy, and that's Howard Eskin. He's the only guy that's going to actually go in there and put it to him when it needs to be. The only guy not scared to be like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lose access to anything.
Yeah.
Right? And I always said it, like, I don't need access in 2018. It's not the day we live in. I can get everything I need to find out. You know what I mean? Yep. It's not 2008 where you need access to figure stuff out. Them days are over. So access or no access, which is going to come. Hey, Gabe, why different lineups every day? Hey, Gabe, what do you feel about rotating the back end of your bullpen? Do you think that helps them come into the ballpark?
Hey, Gabe,
knowing?
Can you be real once?
Can we stop talking in using big fucking words? Because if I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, I always take it as disrespect. So you know that movie. Aim high, Willis. Aim high.
Oh, you wanted well, now you got one.
That's my line. What's Christ? Mario says, Thomas Arnone, Christ is watching. What's he watching? What's Christ watching? My heart's pounding out of my chest because I'm talking about this crumb and this wannabe analytical fraud. There's only one team in baseball that does analytics that isn't loaded that wins, and that's the Oakland Athletics.
And do they really
No.
win?
Because they originated it.
Yep. Nobody else. Look at it. Yankees are loaded. They do analytics. Makes sense. They're going to win. Okay? Doesn't mean analytics work. It just means they're loaded, right?
Yeah.
Houston does analytics. Fucking loaded. Okay? Chicago, analytics. Loaded. Boston, analytics. Loaded. You know what I'm saying? So the big boys do analytics. They're loaded. So who does it outside of Oakland that's successful with smoke and mirrors?
And do you count Oakland as truly successful?
But every guy I said.
Because they don't win.
But every team I said, every manager of them teams is also a field guy. Right?
Well,
Indians another one loaded and they
the only
win.
one I'm gonna hesitate with you right now is just the Yankees, just because do we really know what Aaron Boone is? Just because he's a first-year guy. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he's a first-year guy. Do we really know what he is? Because the payroll helps that too with the Yankees.
Well, and it's interesting that you brought up that team because I was going to point to, take a look at the Cleveland Indians. 88-69, running away with their division. Four starting pitchers with over 200 innings pitched, yet none of them are burnt out. And who's their guy? Who's their manager? Tito Francona, the guy who might very well be the best at using the eyes and the laptop.
Absolutely. You want to hear this one, guys? Via John Clark. Phillies give up 10 runs in 3 straight games to the same team for the first time since 1933.
I remember that series.
Okay. Also from John
From
Clark.
the womb.
Matt Quintak picked a bad night to announce Gabe Kapler's back as Phillies manager next year. Phillies have their worst September in 76 years. Phillies on their way to losing 3 straight by 7 runs, each to the same team for the first time since 1935. 10, it was 33. If you're an analytical junkie, that's fireable. That's all. And I'm not Mr. Numbers. You know I'm a field guy when it comes to baseball. If you are a number guy and you support his numbers and analytic numbers, take another peek. Fired tonight. Doesn't even get out of the dugout. That's how I make a statement. But it's the same thing. Like, we don't want that because that equals turnover is not a good thing.
Right.
But when you know And, like, Sean Spielman can run his mouth, and I love Sean, and say, well, this team's going to win a World Series with Gabe Kapler. And I will rebuttal that with one thing. Gabe Kapler is not winning a World Series. This team will win despite of Gabe Kapler because they spend that much money to go win.
Well, because you're gonna have to spend that money to get Harper.
Yeah, or whoever.
If Gabe's back.
Or whoever it is.
But, Mike, getting back to what you said earlier, there's been a couple games this year where I thought Ricky Bottalico, Mike, was going to get shut off post-game. And Barkan, too, because Barkan's starting to goat Bottalico into arguing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Barkan's he's Mr.
That's funny.
He's Mr. NBC Sports, so he ain't going nowhere.
No.
And he starts, like, laying into Ricky and, like, feeding him and feeding the fire. But you're right, though. You're spot on. Like, I mean, Ricky, he's the only one that's been bashing it all year. And it's crazy that the network that carries the Phillies and essentially owned by the Phillies –
well,
still has him on TV.
And what I had said earlier today in a couple of different places, I said that people say the Phillies don't have talent. I say they have guys that have performed at every level and won. And then Gabe and his staff of computer geeks come in and all of a sudden these guys forget how to play? I don't think so. And the other thing that I had said was these are guys who were top 10 prospects in what was at the time a top 5 farm system, batting out of position, or playing out of position, batting in the wrong spots of the order, being pulled too early, left in too long. A good high school or college coach could have managed these kids to 85 wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the big point that I really enjoyed making was, and this was a long discussion today. I said, and this is something that I took straight from our conversations here on the air. So a good manager will win you an extra 5 games a year. How many times have we talked about that?
Yep.
Bad manager can lose 10 to 15 on his own. Bad lineups, in-game decisions, etc. I said, I don't think Gabe has cost him 15, but he might be closing in on 10. I said, in business, when an entire group or team underperforms, the manager is reassigned or replaced, oftentimes without an opportunity for performance improvement. Why can't the same be said here? It's a job. It's a business.
Because it's 2018. It's the year of it's the year and the time of free passes. Free passes. That's what it is. It's excuses. Because if you hear the supporters, it's all excuses. It's not. You know what I mean? There's always, well, there wasn't enough talent, or what about the players, or what about A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and not what has he done wrong to allow this to happen, right? Because if you want to talk analytics and you want to talk change and you want to be able to switch your lineups around, but there's nothing different in your pressers.
And that's the same thing. Like, he never went to what worked. He never went to what worked. Like you said on Sunday, put your best 8 out there. I guarantee your best 8 isn't Rhys Hoskins in a 2-hole.
True story.
Put your best 8 out there. You figure out the gloves later, but at least you're going to out-hit them.
I know.
And your best 8 should have Rhys Hoskins in the 3 or 4-hole.
Well, that's factual. I mean, we've known that from the second this has been going on
this team.
And you talk. I know Joe Madden came out and made statements before, like, I don't believe in set lineups, but he doesn't mean like I don't believe in guys being in their spots. I just believe that a guy can play here for this guy can play here for this guy, whatever. You know what I mean? But their overall consistency stays the same.
But Anthony Rizzo is always in the 2 or 3 hole, right?
Yep.
Javi Baez is either in the 9 or the 1 hole. You know what I mean? Like,
hitting the same spot.
Yeah. Maybe a couple spots here or there, but you're in the same area.
The greatest player in the history of this organization typically batted 3, 4, or 5 for his entire career. Even when they brought him up in 71 or whatever, they batted him 8th until they were pretty much out of it and then moved him up in the order. You remember 71 too, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Rye Dog. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about literally the greatest player in the history of this organization. Like, yeah, I mean 3, 4, or 5 for his entire career. because that's what goats get.
I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm not a different dude ever. Same dude all the time. I don't know what they're saying. Greg, thanks.
My man comes hot at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if we're hot.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:45-ish.
8:50.
8:50, thanks.
He doesn't
Mike.
start anything at 45.
No. God forbid. God forbid guys just toss practices on Wednesday nights. Don't even ask the guy who's part of the practice on Wednesday nights. If you're just joining us, our poll question, what is your updated Philadelphia Eagles
Wait a
record?
minute. If you're just joining us, you missed a lot.
No, you missed a ton. What is your updated Philadelphia Eagles record at the quarter season mark? Has anything changed? 13-3, 12-4, 11-5, 10-6, something else? So let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Obviously, you're here. HUD Radio is where you can find us if you're not here, which means get here. And Sweeps chiming in. Yeah, damn it. I've missed a lot from Sweeps. What's up, boys? Great show. I can't believe the millennial pussies that are like, it's okay, Phillies overachieved. You had a shot beginning of September as a Cards fan. You can't manage the damage I just did to my basement wall after Brewers swept us. Season over, but I could imagine I was like, what do you say? Sorry, read it. He said, Gabe, their life was team. You better read my shit. 31-16 birds. I might punch you in the face. Read my shit. And Joe Madden was an Indians collapse from never winning shit as well. Cubs are the Phillies from the late 2000s. One title underachieving to its max.
I couldn't agree more. I'm not the biggest Joe Madden fan at all, and he's spot on. Yeah, Cubs are up 3. What are they up 3-1? Or the Indians are up 3-1 or 3-0? 3-1.
3-1, yeah.
Yeah, and you collapse and break the curse.
Well, that's what happens
now,
when you don't have.
Now you have club on club crime out in the bleachers.
Yeah, you do. No, but when you mix and match your lineup, guys don't get in a routine. They don't build up the legs that you need to carry yourself through 162, and you fade. And you fade in the postseason. And I saw that firsthand in 2015 against a Joe Madden-led team. No way Mets should have won that series. There's no fucking way in hell we should have won that series, to be honest with you. But we did, because they tired out.
I mean, it's a great point. I mean, imagine if you're Reese Hoskins, and you know that the expectation after last year is 35 and 120. Ain't no goddamn way you're getting to 120 if you come up with nobody on base all the time. And that's what hitting second gets you. Because your leadoff hitter had a nice season last year, but is inconsistent as hell this year. And if you're talking about his second, third, and fourth at-bats of the game after the lineup flips, well, 2 guys ahead of you is the pitcher. It's the National League.
Yeah.
You want to bat, Aaron Judge or Giancarlo Stanton second in the American League? That's fine. Go ahead and do it. You don't bat Reese Hoskins second in the National League. Stupid.
And their lineups are loaded where guys are batting in a 2-hole. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's common sense. It's baseball 101. You know what I mean? You put your power guy 3, 4, 5s. You know what I mean? That's what your power positions are. Power positions aren't in the 2-hole. You want a guy in a 2-hole that can get on base, right? You want a guy in a 2-hole that can, bat 300 and on base percentage out the roof. That's what you want in your 2-hole. Your 1 and 2. You want guys who can get on base for your 3, 4, 5 to drive them in.
Well,
That's baseball. Common sense.
Look at Boston. I'd be willing to bet that Boston's best leadoff hitter is Mookie Betts. He's also their best 3-hole hitter. So where does he hit? The 3-hole.
Yep. Another common sense
smart.
decision.
Yeah.
And that's an analytic game, too. Joe Miller, how you all feel about McNabb calling Jared Goff the best QB in the NFC East? I think Don McNabb drank a little bit this offseason, if you don't mind me saying it, and with all due respect, Donovan, which means I can say whatever the hell I want. Okay, and I love you, 5. I really do. But you're off base because you forgot, right? I love when guys forget. We're so forgetful, right? So Jared Goff comes out, and he had a great year last year. Nobody's taking that away, right? And he's coming out, and the Rams are hot. We see all that, and Carson's coming off the knee injury. Bro, did you miss something last year before the injury? The dude was the best quarterback in football. Forget the NFC, Don, before you started sipping. He was the best quarterback in football. Nothing's changed but getting fully healthy and being back. So you'll see. I love this shit. You'll see. Talk to me in 3-4 weeks. That's all. When he's throwing four touchdowns a game and throwing for 300 yards and carving asses. carving asses because he's a worker. He's a grinder. And Jared Goff's worried about the only reason Jared Goff shows up to meetings, in the QB meetings and the offensive meetings, is this. Hopefully McVay's girl shows up. That's the only reason he's there.
I mean, it's a good
I'm
reason.
mad at him. I'm just reason.
Let's just talk. Let's just talk logically about this for a second. Donovan will never ever have anything complimentary to say about an Eagles quarterback because he wants to be remembered as the greatest Eagles quarterback ever.
I love you. I really do. I mean, I'm a 5 guy. You know what I mean? There's
Which
a lot
as
of
of now
success.
it is.
There's a lot of failure in the big game, but there's a lot of success.
Unless these Foles blowers think that Foles is better than 5.
Nah, it's no shot. Foles isn't better than 5. I love Nicky and all that. Dude, as of right now,
It's
because
5.
Carson's still a puppy, he's going to end up surpassing 5. But just hear me out. The best quarterback in his franchise history, Donovan McNabb. Okay, he never got over the hump. We know that. But there's a lot of exciting football back then. Now, who's going to be the best? It's going to be 11. So Donovan, like Mike said, never going to give love and say, well, Carson's the best quarterback in the NFC when he is. But whatever. To each your own. It's your opinion, Don. You drank a lot this offseason and you're fucking so off.
Sometimes retirement clouds the brain. You know, for sure. I know a little experience I had. My buddy of mine used to be a personal trainer over at LA Fitness down in Philly. And all the time he'd be talking to women and Donovan would swoop right in. And then all of a sudden, Don McNabb's there, so obviously a lady's going to talk to Don McNabb.
Of course.
Big dick swinging. No personal trainer or whatnot.
Yeah.
Rob says no, Randall is. Randall's not the best quarterback in franchise history. I love.
He might have been the most exciting.
Yeah.
No.
Freak. He wasn't the best, though. You know, and there's no excuses. Oh, they didn't have this.
There was just no longevity.
Yeah, it's too hurt. A guy who's out on the field.
Randall.
Yeah, guys out on the field enough can't be the best. Every 4th game of the year, he was out for the year with a torn ACL.
I mean, as much as I hate Andy Reid or I hate that error, and I don't hate the error, but like I hate that we just never got over the hump.
Yep.
But if you come back to me and said, "Yo, you're gonna have 10 years where you're gonna get the 4 NFC Championship games, you're gonna go into every or 5, yeah." I think I was at 4. You're gonna go into every season with a shot of going to the Super Bowl and winning. Are you taking it? I'm signing in blood every time.
Every time.
Even though we didn't get over the hump. And
it
it was because we had 5. Again, going back to now at Carson, when you have your quarterback, you have your team.
Yep. It's real simple how that works, right? Deion Brown said McNabb is the kid at the park taking his basketball home because he's not getting any attention.
He's got it. Exactly.
Peter Howard said when the lights were the brightest, Don choked. And I don't think anybody disagrees with that. Rob, you can read me off and rattle me off all this shit like Randall had shit to work with. What did Donovan have to work with? Are you okay? You realize how good Fred Barnett and Keith Byers were? Like, do you think them guys stunk? Do you realize how good that defense was? Do you forget that? Stop saying that he had nothing to work with, but Donovan did. The only year Donovan had something to work with, he lit the world on fucking fire.
We went to the Super Bowl.
We went to the Super Bowl. So Todd Pinks and James Stratford.
Torrance Small.
You forgot that? Terrence Small. You forget all these shit names. LJ Smith. The list goes on nothing to throw the football to. So let's just stop. Let's slow down.
12-0.
12-0. Unbelievable. Dude, Rob, I know numbers. 1 in 5 NFC Championship games. I've been an Eagles fan my whole life. You don't got to come at me with the fucking numbers because you're on a hate game right now because you hate Donovan. Like, just take the glasses off for a second, the blinders. He's the best quarterback so far in franchise history, and Carson will surpass him very soon.
Look, the Rockies got guys hitting RBI doubles and triples that I've never even heard of before.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's how bad it is. Who the hell is Pat Valleca and Raimel Tapia?
That's my only hope to cash in DFS. No names. Getting all the RBIs.
First off, that defense the Eagles had was not better than the 90s defense. It was not better than the Buddy Ryan defense. Oh, my God.
The Buddy Ryan defense was a top 5 defense of all time.
Oh, my God. I love the kids. I love the puppies who forget.
Do we need to educate tonight?
I'm trying to. And he gets mad when I fucking educate him. Right? You call me a hater or this, that. I know. I'm trying to help you. Become a better sports knowledgeable fan. That's what we're here to do. We're here to teach. We're here to teach you. God damn it, Randall. Anybody who says that Donovan wasn't the best in franchise history just doesn't like the guy.
Right.
So they
has an agenda.
Yeah, has an agenda, dude. And you say I'm calling you a hater. I'm not. You have an agenda that doesn't fit facts. You know right? Facts.
Why don't we just bring up Jaws in the mix, too?
Yeah, Jaws, yeah. Dick Vermeil. Fucking blow Dick a little more.
Didn't we all just have this argument on the
Buddy
book?
Ryan was one of the best defensive coordinators of all time, Buddy. He's better than Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson couldn't hold Buddy's jock strap. And Buddy, if you say that about Buddy, Buddy will come throw fucking punches at you. Okay?
From the grave.
I love a guy forget. Buddy Ryan was one of the best defensive coordinators. Mike, will you help, please? In 85, he was defensive coordinator for the best defense of all time. Damn it! This is what gets me my blood pressure rising.
He basically invented a defense that's still run in the NFL today.
Jim Johnson ain't in the same conversation. And I love Jimmy. Not in the same combo. Not one person on that Eagles defense in the 2000 era, right, could even hold Reggie's jock strap. And that's just one guy, right? One of the best defense end of all time. Come on, dude. Can we slow the fuck down?
I would even go so far as to say that
Pour some out for Jerome.
the only guys
Yeah, and that would even lose Jerome.
the only guys on that Jim Johnson defense, and that Jim Johnson defense was damn good. The only guys on that Jim Johnson defense that could have played for Buddy were Trott and Doc.
Hall of Famer, borderline.
Borderline. Yeah.
Dude, he said, what weapons did Randall have? Fred Barnett and Keith Byers. You forget that Keith Byers was a highly talented tight end / fullback coming out of the U, right? This wasn't like a crumb. Fred Barnett could flat out stretch the freaking football field. They had weapons. He got hurt all the time.
We had this discussion on the book. It was I want to say it was about a month, maybe a month and a
He had
half.
it for fucking 1 year. Sorry.
For T.O.
Yeah, 1 year. Stop it. And he fucking let the Royal Fire win the Super Bowl. Shit. And if Tito didn't get hurt, we'd probably win the Super Bowl.
And I think the conclusion was that Randall was a phenomenal athlete and did more with less than a lot of NFL quarterbacks, but Five was clearly the better quarterback.
Yeah.
Because he did have less. He really did. I mean, I think people overrate some of the talent that Randall had because honestly, like Fred Barnett, nice wide receiver. Wouldn't be a number 1 today. Calvin Williams, probably a number 3 today. Keith Jackson, phenomenal tight end.
Keith Jackson, yeah.
No running game whatsoever. Because Keith Byers was a stiff. I mean, they moved him to tight end.
Yeah. I meant Keith Jackson. I don't know why I kept saying Keith Byers.
But I mean, Keith Byers was he was amazing coming out of Ohio State. He had one real nice year as a running back, and then they basically moved him to tight end. Ricky Waters, he played
for what?
Yeah, but he basically played a year with Randall. See, this is the thing: is that there's so many guys that guys out there want to point to and say played with Randall. Randall only had Mike Quick for a year. He only had Ricky Waters for a year. He only had Charlie Garner for 2 years. There was a big stretch of Randall's career where he was playing with Now, Five had 1 year of T.O., and the rest of his career was So the comparison really becomes Randall in his prime versus Five in his prime. Five is the better quarterback. Randall's a phenomenal athlete.
So was Five. That people forget
right.
quickly.
But
you know
now,
what I mean?
but now here's the thing: you want to take the season that Randall had when he went to Minnesota and was throwing to Randy Moss, Chris Carter, and Jake Reed, and put it up against Five's best season. Well, now you might have an argument because he's throwing to 2 Hall of Famers and Jake Reed, who may have been a Hall of Famer if he could have stayed healthy. So, it's a great, fun conversation, but you can't compare the two because of the eras. And Buddy never put 1 ounce of time into the offense.
I loved your face when I yelled because that came out of nowhere. But I love when he puts this one. Put Randall in 5. I love this hypothetical bullshit. My God, I remember my first time. Put Randall in 5 NFC championship games, and I guarantee you he doesn't lose 5 of them. Are you guaranteeing that, Daddy? My God. He went to 1, and he lost it, okay, in Minnesota. So keep putting them in him. I'll be here all fucking night. All night I'll be here if I need to be. He went to 1 and lost it.
14-0.
Touchdown!
Peter Albertson said Kruk should manage the team. I agree. Yeah, Randall was like 38 years old that year, Park, man. He was. And Rob said, oh, yeah, 5 was phenomenal at choking. Okay, we're back to the choke game. Oh, my goodness. All right.
But we forget he played on, he blew out Arizona on an injured broken ankle.
Joe Miller says, rest in peace, Jerome Brown. Absolutely.
Touche.
Stephanie Hoover says, can you two stop, me and Rob? Probably never. We'll never stop. Because when we don't see eye to eye on stuff, it gets fiery. You know what I mean? Shit gets fiery. This is how sports talk is, babe. You know what I mean? Can't be scared. Take your skirt off and put the gloves on and let's go. That's how it operates. Boys, I want to say like 7 minutes left. All right, we'll get out of here at 11:30.
I'm good with that.
I'll do a little 10-9-8. Quick convo. Quick talk. You know, obviously last night's canceled, so we haven't got to see him play yet. But I'm excited, boys. What do you know? What is Sweep saying? Sorry. Keith Byers went to Ohio State. Yeah, I was thinking Keith Jackson.
Oklahoma.
Keith Jackson was Oklahoma. Yeah. I don't know why I had somebody in that offense from the U. I don't know why I thought somebody in that offense was from the U. I was misguided.
Wasn't Ricky? No, Ricky was Notre Dame.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe I was just because Jerome went to the U. I had the U in my head. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. You surprised? He said, you surprised, bro? 5 biggest ego in the tri-state area. Of course he ain't going to give 11 a shout-out. Jealousy, baby.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I'm not reading the last part of that because I'll tie right in the Rob convo, and I can't give him any ammunition right now. Vinny Maston, you guys are right. Donnie is easily the more accomplished Eagle QB, but if I'm taking one to start a team, it's Randall. That's fair, guys.
Don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think
Vinny was on my side when we had this whole thing on the book a month ago.
Rob, if you came in here, you'd get verbally abused. Like, there ain't no memes winning this battle for you when you come on the seat, when you come in the chair.
You can hop in anytime you want, bro.
Anytime you want. Because if something comes out wrong, dogs go hunting. All right? I said, this ain't kitten talk. We ain't just like little scratches. We bite around here. And then we hug it out. That's how it is. This is what it is. What family does.
He's always wrong. I'm always right. It happens.
We yell, scream. It's agree to disagree radio. It's what the whole thing's built upon. All right? We can fucking hate each other, yell at each other, and just say, yeah, bro, we disagree. Still love you. Still love you, but you're wrong. You know what I mean? You do need memes when you're battling the big dogs, okay? And then Ralphie said Rob won't go on the show. No shot. He's coming in. No shot. Two Gun Tommy says later. Later, Two Gun.
See you, Two Gun.
Love that name,
Peace.
too. But, boys, what do you think? I'm really stuck on this team being the best team in the East, and I know there's people out there that are taking shots at me for believing that right now. And listen, maybe it's a little biased, but I love the core 4. And I think this core 4 is going to be really special. And I could be just drinking some Kool-Aid right now. It wouldn't be my first, and as sure as I won't be my last. I love Kool-Aid.
I mean, I don't think you're that far off. You know, they were a top 3 team last year. You know what I mean? So what's to say they're not already? You know, they're not at least there. I mean, I don't know if I have them number 1 right now. I do like the improvements from Markel, but right now it's still very set shot-ish. So let's see what happens. Obviously, you got to see what happens when the lights come on.
Right, and I'm right there with you. I mean, for me, it's like, you could take the Sixers, Boston, and Toronto and toss all 3 names into a hat, pick one out, and say that's your 1 seed, and the Sixers are 2, and it's fine. I still say Toronto's are, even with Kawhi, they're pretenders. They'll fold.
What do they have left, though?
Yeah, I mean, they'll fold when the lights go on. When the real bright lights go on. Mm-hmm. If they weren't going to win with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, they're not going to win with Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard.
Read it, brother.
Me of everything. That's why this is the best radio in the world, boys. That's it.
Let's go. PTP says, Tom, I can't wait to see some Markel. I can't wait either. It's funny. He was shooting free throws today, right? I'm sure you saw it, brother. He's shooting free throws today, right? Oh, wow, man, I love
Back to the free throws.
Oh, no. That's smooth. He's burying him right. And everyone he makes, everybody's standing down on the baseline. Everybody's. This is like JV shit.
Participation trophy.
It's like the shit you do at JV basketball when you're like a junior.
Well, they didn't want to run suicide.
I was going to say, if you make it, we don't run.
I just love that he's the guy shooting it, though. Like, that's all I need to see. Like, they're putting faith, like, you know what I mean, a confidence bill from Brett. Like, I just think this is what this team does. They redshirt guys. I don't think there's any panic that needs to happen on Markel Fultz. I think he comes down and flat-out balls this year. And he can't be Rookie of the Year, obviously, but comeback player of the year, something along that lines. I think he has a monster year because look what he's surrounded by, right? He's surrounded by 2 generational talents, and he might be one too. And then he's got the dog and Daria, who's just a pit bull, going to bite everything, going to be physical down the block for you, do all the little things. What?
Generational talent from Markel?
I said, did you listen to the whole thing?
I did.
I don't think you listened to the final part when I went like this. I don't think you listened when I went here. I think you listened to A, B, and you didn't listen here. Right, Rob? He didn't listen when I got here.
Could be a generational
Could
talent.
be. I didn't stamp it. I said you have 2 generational talents and Markel, who could be a generational talent. You don't pick a guy 1 hoping he's just going to be a guy, baby. Okay? You don't pick a guy 1 just hoping he's just another doggy. You pick a guy 1 hoping he's King Ding-a-ling. That's what.
Do I need to leave so you two could have a family conversation here? Because there's some dissension in the ranks over here.
Well, he just
like
used
weird shit that I'm not used to seeing.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But no, I mean, I know you're not Mr.
Well, no, I just
Markel,
like,
so
he's
not Mr. Anything. What have we learned over the time?
Yeah, it's true,
Mike.
Gotta
What
have
have we
the
learned?
skeptics, man.
I just gotta see it. You know what I mean? Like what I saw in those 14 games was, yes, is the athleticism there? Yes. But was he ever really put in very high pressure situations down the stretch? No. He was put in some games where Ben was obviously carrying the team, and he was put in the second and third teams. And did he show an ability to get to the rim without a shot against those, second and third teams?
Yup.
Yes.
Talk about it, Daddy.
But can he do that in the start? Can he do that when the bright lights are on? Not in the third quarter when the game doesn't mean anything.
Look, I'm not going to tell you that I disagree with you because I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Well, hold on, I'm getting it. Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
I love when you talk dirty to me.
Now,
team player,
son of a bitch.
team player.
if I'm Brett,
Built for style or comfort.
if I'm Brett, when the preseason games actually start, I'm just telling Markel and Ben to a certain extent.
Just shoot.
Shoot.
See what you get in the gym.
I know you could go to the hole and dunk it on pretty much anybody in this league, Ben. And Markel, you showed us last year in limited action that you could get to the hole. So all I want you guys to do the entire preseason is shoot jump shots. And I don't care if you miss every single one. I want you shooting jump shots in a game so that when the games matter, you are actually comfortable shooting a jump shot.
The Bradley Beal effect. Walk in the gym ready to shoot the ball. That's what you want. You're spot on, Mike. Like, I want these guys shooting jumpers, trying things, working on their game that way. I know what else they can do. We also know why we lost that series, but if
you have a freaking breakaway in the preseason, I want you to stop and shoot a jump shot.
Yep, spot up, Barry. Spot up, Barry.
And if you miss, so be it.
Although, if you miss every
flutter.
jump shot in the preseason, we might have a bigger issue.
But that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Has the work that these kids have put in over the summer actually done something?
Yeah. And it's like, any video that's out there. You could show me a video of him making 100, how many takes was that, though?
Right.
You know what I mean? How many edits was that to get there? And I'm not saying he's not putting in work. I'm not saying he's not putting in work. What I see now is a far cry from what we saw before.
Agreed.
And that's spot on.
What does that mean? You mean better?
Better.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
a far cry, far improvement from what we've seen before. But again, right now it still looks a little set shot-ish. So what happens when a dog is up in his face, when the lights are on? That's it. That's all.
Bro, there's another guy who was drafted number 3 overall in that draft, okay, who essentially stinks, and I still don't like him, but, had a shooting issue where a flawed shot, and you see from year 1 to year 2, or just watching him shoot today again, that shot has been adjusted big time, and that's Lonzo. So, I mean, this is what happens with the good basketball players and the guys who get it. Like, they fix what's wrong. They listen. They soak in. And what Markel did is, one, it looks smoother than it did. And
anything looks smoother than what it had.
when you're hurt, dude, it's going to affect it. And then it's going to affect it mentally. I mean, we know what happened here, all right? But that's over. It's like the Nelson and the drops. We talked about it. Like, it doesn't drop balls anymore, so I don't know what the roll of the eyes is.
Well,
it's spot on
it's
comparison.
It only stopped because we know that he stopped dropping balls. We don't know that Markel is over this yet.
Well, I'm telling you that he is.
Well, you can tell me all you want. It still doesn't. We're still.
My eyes tell me a lot more than most
your
guys.
eyes in the gym.
No,
and
that's
set
fine
shot.
because you can set shot in practice, dude. When somebody's running in your face and he buries it, how's that? What are you talking about? You know what I mean? When guys are guarding you and he's hitting shots.
There's no one guarding him in any
What are
of
you
these
talking
videos.
about, dude? There is so. There's guys guarding him when the trainer's guarding him. Still somebody up in your grill. You can't act like it's an open jumper. It's still somebody there. Don't act like it's a wide open, and even if it is wide open, he's still burying it.
Sure, and I gave him credit.
No,
it's
you're
a
not.
far cry.
But let's put Markel on the back burner for a second. Because what I want to know is,
yes, please.
Does anybody have a problem with Ben Simmons when he's asked, so Ben, you have a jump shot this year? And he said, well, I'm not going to be out here shooting threes, but I'll tell you my all-around game got better. To me, that's a non-fucking answer. And if he doesn't want to shoot threes, that's fine. I got no issue with that. But if that son of a bitch can't knock down a 15-footer this year, I'm going to go challenge him to a goddamn game of horse and beat him and embarrass the shit out of him.
Yep, I don't blame you.
Because as a point guard in the NBA, you need to knock down a 15-foot jumper.
Not
if
when
you don't
you're
want,
6'10", though.
if you don't,
no, I'm sorry, 15. Yes,
15
100%.
foot.
100%.
If you don't want to shoot threes, fine. I don't have an issue with you not
that's
shooting
where I thought
threes.
you went.
If you can't knock down a goddamn 15-footer, you're a fucking problem. Bottom line.
Yeah,
and I love Ben. And I love Ben.
Yeah,
but if he can't knock down a 15-footer, you could go to Capware school because you're a fraud.
No, I think you're going to see more.
You better. You
I mean,
better.
you're going to.
You better.
You're going to. Because,
You better.
Because now the league knows what's going on. You know what I mean? So that's all you're going to have early.
I cannot stomach watching another game where a defender drops off of him and dares him to shoot a jump shot from the foul line, and he passes it because he's afraid. Because that's what Boston did to him. Can't happen.
Yeah, listen, he needs to be able to stretch at 15, 20. You know, like, I don't need him needing him burying.
He's not a generational player if he can't knock down
No, you're right.
a 20-footer.
You're right, and I think he will.
He should.
I have the confidence he will, but, like, yeah, you're right, my guy. A 15, 20-foot jumper, to be able to stretch it a little bit, to be able to make them respect it, because the second they respect that from him,
He going to the hoop.
Yeah, he'll dominate you inside.
He going to the hole.
And that's why I have him the best team in the East, because I think matchup-wise, we're a nightmare for teams.
Well, you know,
and for the Celtics, we're a flat-out nightmare.
Yeah, I
if
mean,
he can shoot,
that
it's
lineup-
all based on him being able to shoot a little bit. But it's also based on Markel, too, right? Because now you really match up really well against the Celtics. And I think that's where people aren't diving deeper in to is the matchups on how are they defending, you know what I mean, what we're rolling out to them, and then the same way.
Well, and you got all these people that are complaining that, why aren't Markel and Ben playing at the same time? Why does Markel have to come off the bench? Well, look at what Boston brings off of their bench. You got to have somebody on your second unit that can provide enough offense to keep up with them. This isn't about Markel not being good enough to start. This is about setting up a rotation to beat Boston in the postseason.
Oh, well, listen, you win in this league by having a second unit that comes in that can
That can score, yeah.
and a guy on that second unit that can flat out score. That's why Markel is such an asset, because he doesn't have to start. Okay, he can be your six-man guy.
He just has to finish.
And he's a perfect guy to come off your bench and give you buckets, because that's what you're looking for, right? And he's a great distributor.
My name's Markel, and I get buckets.
You know, to me, like
Big Al. Does he hit dingers too?
yeah, I just feel like he's a great. I just feel like he's a really good
I'm so
distributor.
glad you hit that one out of the park because I put it on a damn tee for you.
I hit a dinger with Big Al.
My name's Greg, and I hit
All right,
Greg,
Ralph.
I hit
Ralph,
dingers.
shut the hell up, dude. He was drafted 2 overall. He wasn't drafted 1. He was a consensus number 1 overall pick in the. No, he was number 1 overall. What are you talking about, Markel?
No, Lonzo was drafted.
It was
too.
Markel 1, Lonzo 2.
I said that. He told me I was wrong.
You said Lonzo 3.
Whatever.
I didn't. No, I'm just saying. Like I didn't.
Jesus
I
God.
didn't.
You
say
don't even
anything
talk on air. Now you're going to break my balls, right? When I talk so much, you think something's not going to come out wrong?
Yeah.
Jackass. All right? Remember when your mouth used to be sewed shut, okay? Zach said 2 million words over an hour and a half show. All right, babe? Come on. Don't talk.
Well, in fairness to Ralph, when you're on a show with
tough.
Zach,
Tough.
stuff.
Tough sledding. No, I love you, Ralphie. But
And
I
now,
hate you.
and now he's on with Noah. It's still tough.
Still tough. Still really tough. Yeah. Who starts day 1, Ryan? Who are you talking about? Talking about Markel? There's no issues there with him playing. TTTs, when do you guys think Markel will start? Start of the season, December. Oh, he's right off the bat. He's your 6th man or he's starting. You know what I mean? There's no issues, but there's no issues with him. Like that kind of stuff. Like he's playing. There's no setbacks.
I don't think your starting lineup changes this year.
Setbacks are over for us as when we talk about the injuries, when we talk about red shirts, when we talk about drafts. The setbacks are all over. Zaire Smith is your last red shirtist guy for this organization, in my opinion.
Yeah, correct.
Another baby. You want him to get his NBA body before you put him in. And you can do that because of what you did every year. Every year you sold a fan base on another guy playing, right? Right, even if it wasn't a rookie year. So when it was Ben's rookie year and you didn't play, you had Joe playing, right? So then the year after, Markel's not playing, right? And then Ben's playing. So it makes up for it. Now this year, Markel's playing, Zaire ain't. See what I'm doing here? All right, and it's just the way it's been set up, and it's worked for this organization so far. But to me, Joel Embiid being the MVP of the league is what's going to separate us from the Celtics. At least that's my hope. That's my trust in him and his work ethic and his game. And with a distributor like Ben around him, and you add Markel, who's another playmaker, and he learns how to be down in the post more and want to dominate you in the post and get away from some of the, getting away from the post and trying to shoot 15-footers, which he can make. I have no problem with it. How about 1 or 2 a game? Stay down on the block and dominate, because big men win championships in this league. And that's how I feel. Anthony Davis ain't winning shit because he's
two guards get shoe contracts.
Yeah. Because
see, I paid attention in class.
Paid attention in class, see? Anthony Davis is great at stretching it and all this stuff. I'm not taking anything away from him. But I want my big men down the post. I want them to be dominant down there. I don't need you stretching and being a stretch 5. Yeah, can you stretch it and hit it? Yeah. In this league, in this era, you need to be able to hit it and shoot it a little bit. But at the end of the day, man, with his footwork.
A little hit it and quit it?
A little hit and quit. With his footwork, right? I mean, that's where you want him. You want him taking guys to school down the post.
But you're right. You want to start the game in the block. When that stretch it comes in the second quarter, in the third quarter, when they try and answer you down the block, now you step it out, and now you give them something to worry about.
Later, Dion. Dion's hitting the sack. Later, brother. Sorry for the Phils mixed in there early on. We know we killed you. We're apologetic. We really are. I swear to you. But we just hate Kapler. Mike Parker says Ben, JJ, Rocco, Dario, JoJo. Yep, I think that's about right.
Wait, is that his starting lineup?
I think that's his starting lineup.
Well, read it off one more time.
Ben, JJ, Rocco, Dario, Joe.
Yeah, it's the same one as last year.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, so if it's me.
So Chandler's coming off your pine. Markel.
I'm putting Wilson Chandler in that starting lineup and bringing Rocco off the bench.
No problem there. So you're playing Dario at the 3? Or are you playing Wilson at the 3?
No, I'm playing Dario.
I mean, it don't matter.
I'm playing Dario at the 3.
Devil's advocate to you. Would you rather have that vet, though, with your second unit? You know what I mean? Since not that Rocco's not a vet, but would you rather have a guy like you could trust more scoring the basketball with your second unit because you know you're going to get scoring out of your first unit, right? Does Rocco bring enough to that second unit better than he would with the first, you think?
Here's where I'm going with this, though, is that if Markel doesn't give you the consistent jump shot, you need another shooter on the second unit. And if they want to claim that Rocco is a shooter, then that's where I'm playing him.
That's fair.
He'd be that second unit 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't really need that on the first unit because you already have your 3 guy in JJ, and you have your D guy in Chandler.
Right. And then you got Dario who can do a little bit of both. Yeah.
Mike Parker says, I'd like to see Zaire challenge Rocco for that 3 spot, and Rocco come off the bench.
Zaire
it makes the second unit stronger. Yeah, but he's
as Brett would say, Zaire.
I just want to hear Brett say it all year long.
I don't think he's going to play though.
No, I know. I want someone to ask him a question every post game
about Zaire,
so I can hear Brett talk about Zaire.
When does the season get underway, boys? What's the exact date?
I want to say it is October 17th, maybe?
17th, okay. I'm just
16th, 17th in that area.
I get a text from my sister, by the way, who knows, did the Phillies just seriously lose 14-0? Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Broncos came in and scored 2 touchdowns and shut us out. We couldn't even kick a fucking field goal.
100%.
All right, boys.
Yeah, Matt Klentak picked the wrong night to release a public statement.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, about 3 minutes left.
Sixers start October 16th against the Celtics.
So there's your test right there.
Boom.
And we talked about
Boston.
We talked about the Celtics being deep into the postseason the year before and making the playoffs the year before that. Now, do we
follow the same path?
Yeah, do we take the jump? And that's what you want to see. Now, game 1 of the season isn't going to make or break how the season's going to go, and it's not going to change my opinion if we can still win the Eastern Conference.
But when you have them going 72-10, They got to lose. If they lose that first game, it's tough.
Not going to say that.
Because then I got to go 72-9 the rest of the way.
I think they're in the 60s. I really do.
No, I'm just messing with you.
You know what I mean? I just believe this team's in the 60s health-wise. Everything's based off of that, obviously.
Did Boston do everybody a favor when they took that photo of their starting five and give everybody a glimpse of what they're going to go with?
It's possible.
As opposed to
keeping it a little hush-hush.
Keeping it a little hush-hush. Because I'm not saying they're wrong in starting Brown, Tatum, Gordon, Irving, Kyrie, and Horford. Because obviously you're not putting two of those puppies on the bench. But what do they really have on the second unit other than now Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier?
So Brown's starting too?
They had Brown, Tatum. Yeah, that photo
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had Brown, Tatum, Kyrie, Hayward, and Horford.
It's a great five. Nobody's taking anything away from that. Great five.
But what do you do next? Is it really just Rozier and Marcus
Yeah,
Smart?
is that second unit better than ours? I don't think so. Not if Markel's who we think he can be. I don't think they're better.
So it's what? Rozier, Marcus Smart, Aaron Baines.
And then, I don't know the rest of the roster, but it can't be world beaters if you're paying all that money to all those other guys.
The Horford, or is he? You say
he was in the starting?
Yeah. Starting.
So Baines would be in your second.
So wait, so their starting lineup is Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum,
Jaylen Brown,
and Al
Horford.
Yeah, I think we're too big for them.
You have three guards.
Honestly, we're too big for them inside. Because you have a 6'10" point guard, because you have a 7'1" guy down on the block, and you have another 6'10" guy who's physical. Rocco's a big guy. The only small guy you got in that starting lineup. Now, you might have to change this for Boston. And
I don't think you changed that.
Yeah, but you know
matchup-wise, you might have to start Chandler over JJ.
But
you might have to against that.
Here's what that – you know what that is, though?
You have to match the wings.
But that might be –
that becomes positionless offense, which is fine because it can work in today's NBA. But basically you have Kyrie as a point, Horford is your center, and the other three basically become interchangeable, which means four of them can run pick and roll, four of them can run motion. I mean, it's smart because it makes them very, very dangerous.
No, it does.
Problem is, going back to the original question is, what do you then have coming off your bench, though? I mean,
is it good enough?
They may only run 8 deep before they have some fall off.
Well, it's funny. That's why I think Chandler needs to start against the Celtics to match the wings. You went out to get him to match their wing guys, right? So if you went out to get him to match their wings, you want him and Rocco defensively covering Tatum and Brown, right?
But I also think that
because JJ gets beat up out there.
No, and you're not wrong. I just think that ties right into what they're trying to get you to do, and that's do something different than what you do.
Yeah, but guess what? It's not different than what you do because, listen, you're still doing what you do. You're just matching them defensively, and now you're way too big for them. If you think about it, like they're big and they're long out there besides Kyrie.
And they get the friction on.
But now who's covering? Who's Kyrie covering? Wow. That's where you hit him back with. Because if JJ's on the court,
Kyrie covers JJ.
No, but that's why.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
That's why you match them, and you say, you know what? Watch this move, and we'll start Chandler. Okay, now who is Kyrie covering? So now you're going to have Kyrie on a 6'8" guy, right? Or you're going to have him covering Ben. That's a matchup nightmare. So now you win. Now you win that position, and that's how you got to. That's how you got to match what they do. If they want to start that lineup, which is a great fucking five, and anybody says it's not, it's crazy. Right. I'm not taking a shot at the Celtics thinking the Sixers can be better because I think the Celtics are really good.
But here's where I think that you may not necessarily have to deviate, because if you go back and you look at that playoff series, outside of Game 1, when the Sixers absolutely positively needed points, I mean, like needed to stop a run, needed points out of a possession, who did they go to? No, not JJ. Who's the one guy that no one on Boston could actually stop? It's your 4. It's Dario.
Yeah.
Dario basically scored at will in games 3, 4, and 5 of that series. They had no answer for him whatsoever. And if he's improved if he improved from last year to this year, as much as he improved from 2 years ago to last year, if he keeps doing that work and taking those steps, they don't have an answer for Dario.
I agree.
Horford is good enough that he can maybe stay with Joe. Okay?
Because he'll also give him fits on the other end.
Exactly. And that's exactly where I was going with that, is that those two are going to, at some point, cancel each other out. So now you take your step down from your 5 to your 4. They don't have an answer for Dario. They really don't.
No, I agree. Sweep says bench-wise, we talk about Smart, Larkin, Rozier, Baines. That's sort of their
3 point guards and Baines.
Yeah. Well, listen to this. So back to the Phillies.
I'm not sold on Larkin.
Well, back to the Phillies for 1 second.
His pops was better.
Yeah.
Ben Davis preaching what we've been preaching for a long time now. John Clark, strong word from Ben Davis. I think you're looking at a ball team that has quit. My heart is telling me to say they have just completely given up. Listen, when you love the guy you play for, you run through walls for that guy. Okay? Apologists out there, right? You do whatever. You finish strong for him, right? Because we got your back. We didn't live up to our end, but we're going to fight to the finish. That's how you make up for it. You lose a 3-2 game, okay, looks like you're still fighting. You lose games like this, that's quit.
That's a winner streak. That's called winning.
Yeah. It's called a losing streak. Losing streak. But that's for all you apologists out there. There's another baseball guy telling you the same shit we're telling you. Listen, when it comes from so many different angles and so many legit, smart baseball guys, there's truth to it, right? If it's just a bunch of guys that are just hating on the manager, it's a different story. Like the Doug hate last year or 2 years ago,
and
which is stupid hate. You know what I mean?
The fan needs to know, because we talk a shit ton of Eagles and Sixers all year, but we are 3 baseball guys. I mean, you may not know it from the conversation, but we are 3 straight-up baseball guys that sit in these chairs.
Yeah, it doesn't stop on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Uncle Sweeps,
Wilson, you're getting the same stuff. You know what I mean? Other shows here, I think there's 2 guys that do shows here that support Gabe Kapler. One's Rob Brinkman on Monday nights, and one's a non-Phillies guy in Kyle on Saturdays.
Troll.
Everybody else, his partner Rob Abrams hates Kapler. Clear as day. Commenting in all the hate he has for Kapler. Tells Kyle he's an idiot. Right? The whole 9. I mean, you know what I mean? You know, I don't know how Wednesday on the Fix. I'm sure Noah hates him because Noah's just an old school guy. So he's definitely going to hate him.
Noah lost his mind about Kapler.
We know how Ralphie feels about him.
Some of the best radio I've heard out of him in a long time.
And you know,
Brodo can't stand him.
Yeah, and, you know, Ryan's not Mr. Baseball by any stretch, but just another guy who just sees that he doesn't sees what's going on. You know, if you have eyes and you can see and you have common sense, you can see he's not a good baseball guy. I know Pete Young, who we had in here for a Wednesday night, is in love with the guy. And there's nothing you can tell him.
Which is why Pete's not allowed back.
But doesn't see the other side of it. Just goes up, makes excuses. Well, listen, I don't live my life excuse-driven. I live my life by I want to be a winner and I want winners. And when this happens, you cannot run from it no matter what you say. No matter what your whatever stance you're taking and line you're drawing in the sand doesn't make sense now because of what's happening, right? If they went on a little losing streak and they refound it, but Atlanta beat them by a couple games, okay, all right. You did something that's never been done in baseball, right, Kyle? This is for you. One more time before we sign off. First team in baseball history, 15 games over 500, 113 games in, that is going to finish below 500. The first in baseball history. So my analytic dorks, do whatever you got to do with that fucking number. That's all I got. Do whatever you got to do with that number.
It's funny. I just checked my phone, and I had 30 missed text messages from one of my group chats, and I'm in with 3 of my other real good friends. Again, all baseball guys.
Yep.
It's centered around the Phillies are a f***ing joke, complete embarrassment. I'm sorry, but Gabe has to go. I mean, it was all around the Phillies and same thing. Again, a bunch of baseball guys that can't buy in.
I had guys that were staunch Kapler apologists up until September that now think he needs to go because it's just gotten that bad.
How about this, right? he comes in his pressers and he says, I hear the criticism. I know the criticism. Okay. You can say that, but the criticism's been the same. The criticism hasn't changed. You've done nothing to critique what you do.
It's just gotten louder.
Yeah, so if you hear the criticism and you say you're on Twitter and you see it, right, Gabe? But you've made zero adjustments to it, that's a failure on your end. That's Chip Kelly not open-minded failure.
And that's complete opposite of analytics.
Opposite. Okay?
That's all analytics is adjusting to trends.
And there's been none of that. You cannot tell me in the game of baseball, which is, guys, it's such a muscle memory game where guys need consistency, right? They need to know where they're at, like we talk about a million times. You can't tell me with a straight face that consistent lineups in a vacuum don't equal success. Because I'm done, man. Because I know nothing about the game of baseball. Zero.
That was a mic drop for when you have a headset on.
Well, I mean, I could have told you that.
But it's, yeah, I know.
No.
I'm at a loss for words, really, because it all started when the travel started for me. It all started when I went out that way to follow the Arizona and San Diego is when this whole process started.
I blame you.
I blame myself, too.
Because you were supposed to get to Arizona and you never made it.
And I didn't. And they lost 2 or 3 in Arizona, went and lost 2 and 3 in Petco.
all your fault.
Right? And the problem is every game I watched in the RV was another loss. The Mets game, right? The little exhibition cutie pie game, right? That was the first sign of quit. That was when it all started to quit to me. The start of the mixing and matching the lineups, not knowing who's playing where. That wasn't like that at the beginning of the year.
Well,
the first half of the season, we did not do this kind of shit.
Stop the train and back up 4 days. They play the first game of a doubleheader and they lose, by 20 runs? And they used 2 position players on the mound that day?
That was pretty awesome.
Scott Kingery was throwing pitches so slow that they didn't register on the gun because he didn't want to be there. That to me was...
That's horrible.
That was the beginning of the end.
Yeah. Especially when
you-
people pay
when you-
money to see a professional baseball game.
Right, but when you...
See that, like softball.
And you're absolutely right, Rob, but when you...
Well, there was no one at the
When
game.
you put a position
true.
player on the mound
Good point.
who doesn't want to be there, and he just literally lobs pitches in so slow that the radar gun can't even pick them up.
But you tell people in the presser it was exhilarating. And
Yeah.
people had
For
fun.
who?
Yeah.
Yeah, and people had fun coming to the ballpark to watch fucking slop. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear the stupidity that just came out of your mouth? Like, get out of the tanning bed, babe, because it's killing your brain
I
cells.
probably enjoyed that game more than anything down the stretch, though. I mean, like, in all seriousness, like, you're losing a game, and you know you have another game. Like, what else do you want them to do?
Right,
But
but
you
you-
And again, I'm just using that game because you brought it up.
But
I mean, yeah, we're using one game in this whole big.
It's what was
I'm
said
gonna
after.
let him talk. Go ahead.
It was Robert Quinn that came in first, correct?
Roman, yeah.
Roman Quinn, excuse me.
Roman
He
Quinn was
cur-
actually okay.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. He comes in and he's actually trying to pitch a game, right? I believe he was hitting 70s with
Yeah,
on
he
the
was
gun,
in the
right?
70s, right.
So, yeah, using positional players like that's fine. Save on your bullpen. Not a guy to throw slow pitch softball. That was disgusting.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, I enjoy it.
And I would do it if it was a Met,
they
too.
were getting-
And
It's
he's-
not even me picking on the
And he's-
team.
And he's a Mets fan.
It was ridiculous.
It was his team reaping the rewards.
I know.
It's not about
Robert
what
Quinn's
happened.
better than some of our bullpen pieces. Roman Quinn, excuse me.
You know what's funny about that, Rob, though? It's not even about what happened. It's about what you said after what happened.
Right.
Because now you lost me. Because now you make no fucking sense. Did you go in your clubhouse after that loss and tell your players that was exhilarating? Did you say that to them? Did you? Because you should never get out of that clubhouse. Yeah. Somebody should have locked you in one of the lockers, and you're never allowed out until you say something that makes sense. You're locked in. Game over. Because you can't say that to them. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't do this with this guy anymore. I'm sorry.
Should have put him. Should have put him in the locker
Sorry,
like
I'm not
Harvard.
A lot of F-bombs tonight because of Gabe Kapler.
Rookie of the year. We should have put him. You should have locked him.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like, did you go to your players and tell them how exhilarating a 20 to whatever loss was because you threw position players? And they're going to rally behind that nonsense?
It was so exhilarating watching you pitch tonight.
So, fam, we were only going to go an hour and a half for you, and that's why we sit on Facebook the whole time. But like we do, we get chatty catties.
Rambling.
Chatty Cathy's. I ain't got nothing. Breathe, Tom. Thanks. Me of everything says breathe. I'm trying. I'm sorry for this. It's just so upsetting.
It's got me upset over here.
Andy says my face is starting
I'm
to
upset
match
because you're upset.
the jersey behind. And we don't like the same team.
They did. They lost.
Corbin.
They lost game 1, 24-4. They wound up winning game 2, 9-6.
A lot of fight there. Ooh, really came back.
Because they had a fresh bullpen.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Eat a bag
Of Cox. You Coxman.
How about South Redskins?
You Coxman.
I'm about done that back.
I'm a guy who's Mr. Give manager another year type guy. You guys know this. I'm about consistency. I'm about not a turnover. I will not watch Phillies baseball. I'm gonna watch Phillies. I'm lying. I want to say I will not watch Phillies baseball. It's always fired, but I can't. I love baseball. I can't stop watching it. But yeah, that's all. That's all, boys. This was a fun show though.
Well,
A lot of excitement.
here's the thing, though. 78 and 80 now. Need to win 3 out of their last 4
Ain't happening.
to finish 500.
Ain't happening.
It's a team who was in first place in August. And they need to win 3 out of 4 to finish 500.
I was at the Braves game.
A team I had at 94 wins. You had it.
90, 91.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny when
I was at 88 to 90.
when I was in Atlanta, and I said, enjoy being when the Braves lost and we took over second place or first place officially. And I said, enjoy being in second place the rest of the year.
Oh, jeez.
That aged well. And Wilson decided to take a shot at me because of that.
Yeah.
That's what said. We all know whose fault this is. Don't put it on me. Okay, it's on coconut oil.
Well deserved.
It's on one guy. Gabe's the worst in his post games, Kyle. That's where, and I'm not a post game guy, but he's single-handedly the worst post game interviewer of all time. He uses big words, cute words, and words that he tries to act like he's the smartest guy in the fucking room. The smartest guy in the room is always the biggest dope. That's facts. Whoever puffs chests out that they're the smartest in the room is a dope. Really, and you might think that I think that about myself. I don't. I just get loud and obnoxious sometimes because I have fun with this shit. It's supposed to be fun. And so, like I said, this ain't a church and a library where we got to hush hush. Okay, we're gonna go with throats around here. Operational talk. Tommy's a crumb. Fuck you, Ralph. You know where I live. Just come in the big door too one day, because I'll tighten eat your leg off and I'll come smacking you over top. night talk, Ralphie. I love Ralph. I came in today. He says, "Ralph here," and they're all here. And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Good, I'm out." I love it. Ralphie's doing a good job on the breaking news images, though.
Yeah.
You see the kid?
That's him?
Yeah. Brought him in. Give him a roll.
I like the Flyers pool we got. I didn't know.
I sent it to him.
I didn't know the kid could.
I thought my
could
job
find
is
hockey.
My job isn't to send him content, but I sent him the Flyers.
Are you going to drag this out any longer?
No, good. We're good. Tom,
Mike.
AM,
In the PM.
HD Radio. Thank Gibson Mayer LLC.
We're now on Thursday mornings at 12:01, by the way.
Our certified public accountant.
Make them yours.
Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Thank you to all our sponsors, Specialized Physical Therapy LLC, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Did I miss anything?
No.
They're good.
I think we covered it all and then some.
We love you. Tom Arno, Michael Matterey, Greg Mockvick, Robbie Pove, the fam. We out.
Peace.
Stay tuned tomorrow night. Lazy booking, hockey happy hour. Saturday, you got the Nitro Freak. Sunday, Bad Boys. We out.
Go Birds.